beautiful people, welcome back to the Daddy Dating Advice channel. Before we start, I wanted to let you know that I'm going to start doing these more as a radio show or a podcast where you can get on here and chat with me in the comments, say hello, and I'm gonna do less recorded videos and just do shorter videos, and hopefully get more people involved because I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions and your dating experience. What's going on in the world today? What's going on for you? Because there's a lot out there that's going on. Let me try to pull up my chat here real quick. Because we are live here at the Daddy Dating channel. Now, I do want to clear something up really quick. And let me see if I can't hear my audio here real quick. Okay, it's working. It's working. I'm happy to hear that it's working. Um, the thing you need to know is that I'm not going to do any more video game lives here. I have I included the link previously. I'll try to include it here down below in the comment section after the live here today, on Twitch if you do want to see video games and joking around and content like that. But let's watch this video. This is again from Pink Book Lessons, one of the best general discussions on culture, and that's not specifically focused on dating, but it's really on changing and helping people and improving culture, because there's a lot of bad culture out there. There's a lot of bad actors, and they never get called out. They never get disagreed with. And in fact, there's rap and pop culture and lots of things. And you know what I'm talking about. The reality TV shows, the Kim Kardashians of the world, promote extremely toxic people. And we certainly want to be an influence for good. So let's watch this video. And if you are a man out there specifically, I love to break these things down with you because women do have the sisterhood. Women do talk with each other, mothers and aunts and everybody. They gossip. They have information on you and other people. And in fact, they really don't want you to, have a brotherhood or really know much about anything for dating. If they can fatten you up, like the calf to the slaughter, and make you a prize, and have you ignorant, they would like that. They would like that a lot. So let's continue on with our live today, and feel free to get in the comments. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you love this live presentation. And I put a lot of work into showing myself here. Let me know how the graphics are looking with my camera.
Nika. Nika? Okay, Nika.
Hi, Steve. So, I have this male friend that's been pursuing me for quite some time now, but that recently changed due to the fact that I invited him out with a friend of mine, a girlfriend, and they ended up having. Now, he's still trying to pursue me, but I just can't get over the fact that, that happened. So, how do I break it to him without losing the friendship?
What's funny is that she is serious for real. She's like, what am I supposed to do? I've been playing hard to get all this time. I introduced him to my friend. They end up hooking up, and now he's still pursuing me.
Okay, so that's a really good point, and that is a very valid point, that she led this guy on for 7 years. 7 whole years. And people are booing that the guy decided to go with another woman or hook up or do whatever with another woman. I hope you know that women have no shame and would not feel embarrassed if they led you on. If you literally didn't date or decided to hold yourself, make yourself even like a virgin, and hold back or commit, give gifts, Valentine's, and she didn't reciprocate or give you any love, but did lead you on just a little bit, even if they met you in like high school, or let's say in college, they would. I mean, a lot of these women out here have no shame to lead you on for 10 years. I was led on multiple times for 6 months or more, and these women never said that they were sorry. They never felt ashamed, and either they would, cut me off because, a lot of the times they don't have the decency to cut you off. If they ever decide to cut you off, it's because they find a more valuable man than you, and you are boosting their ego. You are also boosting their status, and we'll talk about that at the end of the video. She makes a wonderful point about that as well. But she was having fun. She doesn't love this man. You know, she's sad that she's gonna lose this potential opportunity. And again, these women do this when they get older. I hope that you know this. You can be a Mr. Nice Guy. You might not even be poor. You know, you could actually have a decent living, 50, 75. You could even be making $100,000 or more, and they'll still friend zone you. And a lot of people don't talk about this friend zone thing because they don't know what it is. And it used to be talked about, but a lot of people, for some reason, forgotten about what this friend zone is for men, or these women do to men. So she's going to hold you in reserve. She's going to keep you in, I guess you could say, in her pocket. She can choose you when she wants to. She can play with you, boost her emotions, boost her ego, get some free gifts, get some free money, whenever she wants from you, or she can just have you as an option. And this is how women, in women's minds, a social hierarchy works. Because you as men don't understand this. A lot of you men, you know, you see somebody beautiful, you go and pick her. You know, this social hierarchy, the closest you come to that as a man is you and your boys might see a girl, and then you have some competition. You know, it's really strange to me. You know, I'm not I think all of us are different, you know, women and men, and it's nice to find, you know, people of different character and figure out who people are, and then you want to go pursue somebody or date somebody, have a relationship with somebody who's more compatible with you. You know, a lot of men in these groups, they'll compete for one woman, and then that will boost her status, and she can pick from the best of you or whoever she wants from your social group, or just friend zone your social group. But again, men are not taught to have self-respect or step away, you know, from this. You know, most of the times, women don't, you know, become side, you know, some women do decide to become side chicks, or they don't really friend zone themselves unless it's an extremely wealthy man, like a superstar athlete, a multimillionaire, a big actor. You know, a lot of these women, you know, they want those men, but they don't hold themselves back. You know, they don't stay virgins and say, Brad Pitt, you know, I fell in love with you when I watched your movie when you were 10, when this little girl was 10 or 12 years old. You know, I mean, they don't do those kinds of things. Or, you know, they're not sending gifts of their hard-earned money to other men. I mean, to men that they would like to date. But for men, that's considered normal. It's considered normal for you to wait for a woman, or to wait and so she can quote unquote decide. You know, she's unsure. This is what happens when women say we need a little separate. We need a little bit of time apart. We need to separate. We need to think about things. We need to, you know, figure out who we are. You know, these are the types of things she uses as an opportunity where she's still getting emotional or social validation, or even money. A lot of men are just throwing money at these women, and gifts and free dinners, even though they're not getting anything back. You know, you as men are not getting anything back from this. And again, I don't want to hear anybody coming back at somebody like me and saying, "Oh, men do this too." Men intentionally don't lead women on. I don't know of many men who have ever done this. I've never seen many men of this. Women intentionally do this to really wealthy and really desirable men, the most desirable men in the world. Yes, there are men who are friend zoning themselves and putting themselves in that position for Instagram models and maybe some female actors and the like, on social media. But this is more of a personal friend zoning, and this happens on a personal basis between two people a lot of the time. Women are allowed to step back, take time away from the relationship. It's as if you get to, you know, women get to step back and then calculate or figure out what are their best options, and figure out how they can try to move up in the social hierarchy scale. how can they find a bit bigger and better man, somebody who's more wealthy, somebody who has better status, somebody who's taller, somebody who they think is more attractive, and often it's who a lot of their girlfriends like. It's a competition. So this is how this social hierarchy thing works, and I do think it's a competition has always existed. It's a natural human thing, but it's really a bad part of culture. You know, if people aren't looking for love and looking to support themselves, I mean, looking to, you know, love and support other people in a genuine way, it's a waste of time. This can really be a big waste of time, especially for you as a man, especially when you're paying for fancy dinners and spending your time engaging with these women. And the funny thing is, a woman like this, a woman who has been leading a man on for 7 years, he was a fallback boy. And a lot of these women have fallback boys, and maybe this guy was the best fallback boy. The plan B, the plan C, the plan D. And she's unhappy about this. I hope that you see that she's not really sad about the guy. And she still wants to play with him. We're going to see that in this video. She's going to continue to want to play with this man. She's not sad that she led him on for 7 years. Time, effort, emotion, gifts, money. She thinks that this is a problem for her, or that she's even the victim. That, you know, he should have stayed loyal to her, or kept himself, you know, locked himself up or stayed a virgin for 7 years for her. Especially, and I don't know how old this guy is, but I think she says she's about 30. She's losing her looks. And she thinks that, you know, this is when women cash out. You know, they start seeing that their looks start are going down. And this is why I tell you younger men not to date feminists. They're going to wait till they're 30 or 35. They're actually going to put their eggs in these medical facilities, and they're going to start looking for Mr. Perfect and cash out with the young doctors and lawyers and men of potential, men of affluence. They're not working when you were poor and struggling, when you were kicked out of the house, or when you were 18 out of high school, when you were struggling. They weren't loving with you. They weren't struggling with you. They weren't building a family when they were the healthiest and could actually have children. They weren't working with you and loving you. They have their little career. They have their little bit of power, and they play their game and try to get the best man they can when they're 30 and 35. When their looks are going downhill, and their bodies start falling apart, and they also played their little game. They got their little career. They got to play Office. They got to play the Sims simulator, play with people's career. They had the fun at the little cubicle. Now they don't want to work anymore. They never really wanted to work until they were 56. I mean, 50s. Is retiring young for a lot of people. She doesn't want to work at the office, and a lot of the times they're not really doing much for society at the office, but she doesn't want to work till she's 60 or 70 at the office. These women don't want to do this. That's not their goal. That's not their desire. And in fact, it's fairly rare to find a woman who works into those ages, even if she's single. You don't see these feminists usually, unless it's some cushy soft job. It's like they're not really working until their older ages. But let's continue on with this video. You as men should know that this is unbelievable. It's like you men out there have been treated like this, and you start to feel as if this is normal. This is a normal culture, that you should be put in somebody's pocket, that they can choose you when they want to, that they can lead you on for years. And there's weak men out there now who, you know, again, are with our culture, you know, men are making less money than women. Women are getting more college degrees. They're getting more power. They're getting more positions and more money. And men out here A lot of them are told not to be masculine, not to be confident, and more men are becoming virgins. More and more men are having, not having any options, as the attractive women. Even if you're a little bit cute, they're selling themselves on OnlyFans. They're selling themselves on the internet, and these young boys, this is gonna be a cultural shift coming up here soon, and some of these older women are gonna start picking from these younger boys, and if you don't tell your boys that this is unnormal, or to be led on, or for one of these older feminist type of women to pick these younger men, you're gonna have your high school graduates or somebody who's in college, and these older feminists are gonna be getting your boys, and they just think this is normal, or they think this is the best opportunity that they're ever going to get. But let's continue on with this video and see what else we can learn. Again, this is the Pink Book Lessons YouTube channel, and she is commenting on the Steve Harvey show. So let's continue.
So you didn't want him before? Keep that same energy. He's already messed around with your friend. You've maintained a platonic friendship with him. All right, keep it up.
Exactly. See, she was leading him on for 7 years, 7 whole years. And now she wants advice on how to take control of the situation. She wants him back in the pocket. He had a relationship or got in bed with her friend. And now she potentially likes him even more because there's a competition going on, but now he has options. He could potentially get her friends in her social circle. Maybe he's waking up. He could date her friends, or her friends of friends. He could date her cousin. He doesn't have to date her. So why is he holding back? Trying to wine and dine this, older woman who's not showing him any love. Who's just leading him on, not doing anything for him. And she wants to know how she can control him, put him back. Put those boys back in their place. How dare they have a relationship? How dare he step outside of me leading him on, controlling him for 7 years, for 7 whole years. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up. And women, I don't know where they got these ideas from. They got this pretty princess syndrome, and a guy, again, she's not going to feel ashamed. She could lead a guy on for 10 years. Again, a guy could get out of high school or get out of college, and she could lead him on for 10 years. He could keep himself a virgin, and she's not going to feel any shame. And even if she was to marry this guy and have the fairy tale ending, it's still not fair on the guy. But again, she just drops him, or is just going to play with it. This is normal. This is normal to these women. This is crazy.
Keep that same energy. Shout out to Demetrius who sent this clip in. It comes from the Steve Harvey show. Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Click the notification bell for all updates. And if you're new, include new subscriber in your comment below. And I'm going to try my best to respond to all of you. Won't waste any time here. Let's go ahead and jump into the video.
How do I break it to him without losing the friendship?
Didn't you say y'all were friends before?
Yes.
And he was acting like your friend, but he was pursuing you?
Yes.
And you kept telling him no?
Yes.
So what you need to break to him now?
Exactly.
Well,
Nothing's changed.
I mean, he been getting no this whole time.
Yeah.
Let me show you one of my favorite things about Money.com CRM. Instead of doing this, you're on.
So now y'all go out with your girl.
It's exactly the point I was trying to make. She now wants to know the method and the way to get him back in her pocket, so she has control of the situation. She might not be doing anything for him. No kisses, no love, no nothing. And he's been going at her for 7 years. But she wants to know how can she get him back in her pocket. For her, a lot of the time it's ego. Just like on these dating apps. A lot of you men out there are on Tinder and these apps. And most of these women are just out there to boost their ego. They're doing this same thing. It's a little bit more subtle on the dating apps. And that's why I bring up dating apps. A lot of you guys don't know, but even if she's unattractive, even if she's below average, you might be getting 1 message or 10 messages, or maybe talking to 10 women every week or every month, whatever. Most guys don't get a lot of conversations on these dating apps like Tinder and OkCupid and what all that stuff. Even if she's unattractive or average, she's getting 100. If she's attractive, she's getting a lot. She's getting hundreds. And if she's really attractive, honestly, I don't see a lot of really attractive women on these dating apps because they don't want to. They don't want to play those games. They don't have to mess. I mean, they got men chasing them down on the street and offering them money and to be escorts and money and relationships everywhere they go. And they choose from exclusive high-level men. They don't even want to mess with you, even if you're, even if you're making 75 or 100. A lot of these really attractive women, they aren't even on the dating apps, But let's continue on with this video. This woman thinks that she's not a bad actor. She thinks that she should have every right to put him back in a little box and take out the box whenever she wants some validation, and she wants to know how to change things around. She wants him back in the box. Let's continue.
Girlfriend, he ended up sleeping with your girlfriend.
Right.
But now he's back to pursuing you.
Right.
I mean, he was pursuing you the whole time.
Yeah.
You now really can't get mad about that kid. How old is he?
She's mad.
30.
She's real mad.
But you do like the guy though now?
Kind of.
Of course, right?
Oh, yeah,
now
she
that
kinda
her friend
like-
shows some level of attraction to him, she's all of a sudden attracted to him too. That's because modern women, they love what
Oh,
other
yeah.
women like.
There we
So
go.
if they see another woman, she's doing her nails a certain way, then they want to do it too. If they see another woman driving a certain car, then they want to drive it too. If they see a woman with a man, then all of a sudden they're looking at that same man too.
Exactly. She don't love this man. She don't love him. She said kinda. She's still playing the game. She's not going to admit that she likes this guy. She might like him. She might have a little bit of love for him in a controlling, like, big sister or a motherly kind of way or something. But she's not actually going to actually love. She's not going to have a relationship as a husband and a wife where she's working and helping and doing her fair share of a relationship. You say fair share. You say these women want to be wives, but they don't actually want to be wives, if you know what I mean. And again, this guy's probably older than her, or probably about the same age. She's getting up there to like 30, and again, I bring this up because a lot of you men out here, this is happening to you. And you're, a lot of men watching my channel, they're about that age as well. And I hope I save some of you younger men. I had a younger man, 14 years old, come on my channel, said, I don't know what's going on, but I see this kind of stuff you're talking about going on. And I hope maybe I can learn from it. And I hope that I can, save some lives out there, because you're 30 or 35. You're starting to actually get into your career. You're actually starting to get some promotions. You're actually starting to become more attractive. You could play the field if you wanted to, but you could find somebody who's actually younger, somebody who's attractive, somebody who's actually going to love you. Not somebody who's been leading you on, playing games with you. You've been trying to wine and dine, throw effort. I mean, what's so great about this woman? What's so great about this woman? And she's already 30. She's going to play this game with you. What if you have a kid with her? She's going to say maybe she loved you, maybe she didn't. And she's been playing games with other men as well. What if she finds somebody more attractive than you? This is what I'm talking about. These women are completely, not only are they unreliable, undependable, but your relationship's going to be unstable if you do mess with them. If you do have anything to do with them. I mean, she don't love that man. Let's continue.
No, see, there's no such thing as kinda like. See, what you did was you played your game way past the 90 days.
Right.
Didn't I tell you about this?
Yes, you did.
Now, you played your game way past 90. Y'all probably been friends for how many years? Just let me guess.
7.
Huh?
See, what I told you. She placed him in the friend zone for the last 7 years. Now, tell me, what do you think changed between now and then? Her friend finding him attractive. I told you they only want the men that other women want.
Exactly. She's boosting up her ego, and now it's a competition. Her friend's gonna be talking about, oh, he's so good, he's so nice, and maybe her friend's gonna get this guy because maybe her friend isn't gonna lead him on for for his whole life, and maybe she might get married to him, or maybe she's gonna he's gonna start putting his money or his effort or his attention to her friend. So now it's a competition. Because a lot of these women in these friends groups, I don't know if you notice, sometimes they'll have a less attractive woman, to boost their ego. But a lot of the times, these women's friends groups, they don't have, they might have one woman that's more attractive in there who might be the queen bee. But most of the time, they have friends of similar social status and similar looks because, it's a competition. And they trying to all put their their strength together and pool together, I guess you could say, their affluence and their wealth and their attractiveness as women. So now she can't have that. Her friend done her up. Her friend done she might have control of the situation. She can't let that happen. and that bothers her, in this little game she's playing. Again, she don't love this man. She don't love this man. This man could have been sending Valentine's cards, roses and chocolate. He could have been trying to wine and dine. He could have been trying to talk to her cousins and her brother and her family. I mean, he could have been trying to. I don't know what kind of man this is, but he could have actually been a man looking for marriage. And this is how you're going to get treated. I've been on the receiving end of this. In college, I was talking to and befriending and trying to get to know a woman, and I could tell that sometimes she was flirting with another guy, but I just went ahead with it. I was trying to figure out, what kind of person she was, and she seemed nice, and we had a really nice date and flirty and all this, and I thought she liked me. I thought this might work out. We came from similar social status, similar upbringing. She was raised in a potato farmer family, and her hair was bleached on the ends, not from bleaching her hair, but from actual, the sun bleached it because she was out there working. She was a working girl, and I've been raised hardworking too, and I thought we had some things in common. But the next day, then it didn't take her very long, and she was not she didn't even want to sit around me. She was sitting right beside and trying to talk up and convince the other guy, to date her. And he was another little Idaho boy, a blonde Idaho boy. He wasn't as tall as me, as strong as me. I guess, she saw that I wasn't controllable. I wasn't going to play that game. And I guess she thought I was going to get jealous, and she was looking at me. She was sitting over there with that guy trying to talk him up, but she was giving me that side eye. She was trying to play that game with me and trying to get me jealous, and she was trying to play both of us. I don't really know what her intentions were, but she was trying to play both of us at the same time, and I just ignored her. I stepped away. And again, I'll admit, I've been led on for 6 months plus by 2 different women, but that's, after that happens a couple times, men, and hopefully you don't have to suffer like this man did. He was led on for 7 years. 7 whole years. It's painful enough to be led on for 7 months when you actually are interested and you actually want to love and actually care about somebody. You've been putting effort, and let me set something straight here too. A lot of women are going to come to the defense of like, men, you just have crazy fantasies and you have unrealistic expectations. When I'm talking about being led on, it's not just somebody watching a movie, watching a famous actor like these women do, and falling in love and saying, oh, I want Brad Pitt, or I want Legolas from Lord of the Rings with his long flowing blonde hair or something. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about a man and a woman meet at a college, at a community center. You in the same church. You go to the same football game. I mean, some social event. I don't know what the heck you do. You go to the park. You go to a concert, whatever, and you both have something in common. And you both go to the same social events. You might not even have her phone number, but she's talking to you every once in a while and actually flirt with you a little bit. I mean, being led on is more than just she's in your same classroom at high school or at college or something. Being led on is, she's giving you little crumbs, and just enough for that guy to say, oh, she might like me. She smiled at me a couple times. She winked her eyes a couple times, but she's kind of running away. She's kind of playing that game that game where you might think that you might feel that you're building a relationship. You're building up to something. And a lot of these women play hard to get, and he even says that. Steve Harvey, he might not always be, he's right, or he's on the point about 50% of the time. He said, you've been playing hard to get. If you want to play the hard to get game, you can only do it for 90 days. A lot of men these days, if you're not exchanging fluids, if you know what I mean, by the first date or in the first week or in 2 weeks or something, a lot of these guys with this Netflix and chill culture, hit it and quit it, you can't even build a relationship. And so for a lot of people, who are really Christian in America and the United States, that's just taboo and that's just scary. But a lot of cultures have this attitude, especially in like Iceland. It's normal for you to build a relationship. The first thing you do is you have some fun with each other, but I'm not trying to say that's the best way to go about it. There's different cultures and attitudes, but it's not normal for a man to waste this much time and this much effort and money on a woman. You as a man don't need to be controlled this way. You need to be trying to date a whole bunch of women. And I'm not one of these pickup artists saying you need to spin a bunch of plates. You might want to be that way. But the thing is, you need to be figuring out all kinds of different options. A lot of you guys, they called it one-itis. That's what they used to call it. You find somebody, they might like the same music as you. They might have a similar culture. You find somebody who's got something similar to you. She might actually be on your level. But again, a lot of women, they want to date up 2-3 notches to, they want to date somebody who's, at least a better person in a couple things. It has to be social status, a couple things, money. You got to be taller. I mean, that's a given, but you got to be taller or a little bit more attractive, and you got to have something. You got to have a little bit more money, a little bit more, social status, or you got to be talented in a little bit of a way. Or have a little bit of popularity where all of her girlfriends want you too. You got to have one or two of those little things going on, and
and the more other women like.
Sorry about that. You got to figure out what you like, and you got to figure out what you want to do, because if you keep letting women control you, and I'm not saying that men need to get out here and control women. I really want people to come together. I want men and women to be happy. If y'all aren't noticing, we got people out here saying that men need to go away, and again, to avoid the stress and the damages, you might need to adopt some of that. For some of you men, it's just too dangerous to ever get married. Divorce court, and all these women, they're taking advantage and they're robbing men blind out here. And she can lie about you 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, and say you did something wrong, and you could lose your career. You could lose everything you ever have. You built your whole entire life, and you can be an outcast. So for a lot of men, you might want to be really, really careful. But on the opposite side, we got this feminism and we got this modern culture, and women are taking advantage of it. So we need to have people come back to the middle, at least being willing to negotiate. But women can't continue to play this game, have their hot girl summers, play out there, spend up all daddy's money, the government money. They get scholarships, they get handouts, they getting money thrown at them left and right. And, they might not even have to work or worry about having a career until they're 25 on. A woman used to be considered an old maid after the age of 18. Now, that's a debate we need to seriously have, if that's a good type of culture and a good type of attitude to have. are you considered quote unquote an old maid or a less desirable woman if you're past the, is it 30? A lot of people are acting like women should actually start looking for relationships. They're not old at 30. It's normal for them to start looking for a relationship at the age of 30 or even 35, when a lot of women are they're gonna have far less of a chance to have children, or they're gonna have much higher chances of having a child with problems. It's not biologically normal for women to have start having children after the age of 30, especially after 35. Some women think it's normal, you start having a relationship and you're gonna try to have a kid at 40. A lot of women biologically can't have children at 40. Maybe if you're taking some kind of fertility drug and you're spending a lot of money on it, and there are some rare women out there, but most women, that's just not normal. That's just not biologically normal. And that's why, again, that is a factor, and that's a thing that's fueling this, because women, they never think they're going to run out of time. They don't think they're going to run out of time. And they think that time is on their side. But women in the past were told that the time is against them. Again, I'm sure that you all have heard it if you have been paying attention to dating dynamics. The old saying, men are born poor, and as they age, they become rich. They age like fine wine. Women are born like milk. They're born fresh. They don't have to work. A lot of these women, they looking fine, and they don't even exercise. They looking beautiful. They don't even have to exercise. They looking fantastic, and they have all the attraction, all the men who want to marry them, date them, throw money at them, and they get to kind of choose what kind of experience they want. Do you want to be an escort? Do you want to have a career, going to college? Do you want to be a baby mama? I mean, women can go out here and pick whatever they want. There's consequences to all of it. But if you want to build a family and you want to have a relationship, it's best to build that younger. If you're actually a marriage-minded woman and where you actually want a kid, you best not be waiting till you're 30 or 35. And that's one reason I bring this up. I'm not against women. I'm trying to help women. A lot of these women you've been lied to. We're about to have a whole generation of women as they get 30 and 35. They still sitting back here thinking that Mr. Right's supposed to show up, or they have a bunch of people in their pocket, a bunch of men like this, waiting for 7 years in boxes, and they about to try to choose some of these men in these boxes. They're gonna have a rude awakening, because if you would have married that man who you've been leading on for 7 years, he might have married you, but now he's woken up. Now he has, now he's hopefully looked around, and he might have something to do with you, but he might not want to marry you after you led him on for 7 years. He can date somebody younger, or he can date somebody else, or he doesn't have to get married necessarily. And that's a part of the culture as well. Even if he's a marriage-minded man or a relationship, it doesn't even have to be marriage. You broke the social norm. You broke the social contract. You broke it. And I was one of those women. I mean, one of those men. After you get led on so much, after women kind of, you try to date all these women, and I was brought up in a religious communities and around religious people, and you're like, I don't even know if these women want marriage. I don't even know if they want even a relationship. They don't act like they necessarily. I don't even know which women, or when women want a relationship or want marriage, or and they certainly don't act like they love me. And and you're throwing your time and your effort, your attention, your money, your hard-earned money, and you don't get an ounce of gratitude. You don't get much of anything. Well, let's continue. Let's continue on with this video. There's a lot more to talk about.
Them, the more they will be attracted to them. But at the same time, they get upset when you exercise those options.
Y'all probably been friends for how many years? Just let me guess.
7.
Huh?
7.
7.
7?
Yes.
This man been pushing up on you for 7 years?
You shouldn't even lead a man on for 7 months.
That ain't the 90-day rule. You crazy.
She thinks that's funny. They think that's funny. I mean, imagine
Here's what you
that
got to
man's
do.
gone through.
Here's the only way to fix this. You have to put it out your mind that happened with him and the girl. Y'all wasn't in a relationship.
Exactly.
He been asking you for 7 years. Now I think
And I want to bring this point up too. She thinks that he should have a level of commitment. They never talked about what kind of relationship they had. They didn't have a relationship. They never sat down and said, what are the ground rules? What can you do? What can I not do? What are we gonna do together? And how is this gonna work? They never sat down. They never did that. They're not married. I hope you know, men, that I have seen newly engaged, and a lot of people don't even know what engaged is, because a lot of this younger generation, they don't even date to marry. You know, they don't even know what engaged means. Engaged is in between dating and in between marriage. It's in between. It means both of you, it can depend on the relationship how committed you are, but it means that you're moving towards marriage. It's more than just a Netflix and chill. It's more than just you both like each other. You have both decided together that you're moving forward to a big relationship, maybe family, maybe kids, maybe the marriage, maybe the whole kit and caboodle. You might go through with it. And again, marriage is extremely dangerous, especially in Western countries. I say to you men, just don't do it. But I know a lot of people out there, it's tradition, it's culture, it's family, it's mixed in with religion. A lot of you men are just going to go through with it. So a lot of you men need to know what you like, what you don't like, and also don't let these women play these kinds of games with you. You know, you need to get out there and choose. And you women as well, you'd be a lot happier. And again, I'm not in this channel, I'm not trying to take down women or give women a bad name, but come on. Do you think it's normal? Do you think it's acceptable for a woman to lead a man on for 7 years? And we're talking about that this isn't even engaged. And I was trying to make that point because with engaged, in between dating and marriage, a man could be led on in that point as well, and she could start expecting more gifts, and she might not even tell you what she expects and what she doesn't expect. It can get a whole lot. You thought things were crazy in the dating, and you were just hooking up and just having fun. You might think that that's normal. You might think that that's just fun, but now if you decide to possibly start moving towards marriage. Or she might start asking. She's going to say, "What is this relationship? Where the good old where are we going with this relationship? What are we doing?" And she's going to start putting those expectations on you. But on the other hand, she can act that way towards you, but you can't say what are the expectations on her. She can have that attitude of expectation towards marriage, but she still can lead you on for however long she likes. However she feels, she could lead you on for a couple months, half a year, a whole year. And during the whole time, she could be looking for the bigger, better man. I saw this happen to somebody at college. I had a roommate. He was led on for, he was dating this woman on and off. Then they had a break-off period. We just need to separate. We just need to figure out, who we are. And when a woman says that, that's saying that, you're the fallback boy, and she's going to go and try to find a bigger, better man. And that's exactly what she did. But this woman didn't find a bigger, better man, or maybe she was just lazy. I don't know. She didn't have a great character. The same woman then starts to date this guy, but kind of leads him on for another 3, 4, 5 months. So this guy was led on for over a year, and they eventually got married. And I hope that you people know that this woman tried to get me. She's a newly married wife, and she openly with her friends. This guy was so beat down. This guy was so weak. He couldn't see when his new wife, just married, was flirting and trying to get the attention of other men, and she was willing, brazen, confident enough that she would do this right in front of her new husband and her social group around her friends, and I called her out, and the thing is, they didn't act, that they didn't take that against her and her social status. That whole social group acted as something was wrong with me. Something was wrong with me, and I didn't cheat. I didn't, hurt. I could have easily just taken that brand new wife. I mean, I could have easily done it. I didn't want to do it. To not only to me is that disingenuous and gross, and I mean, the whole thing is messed up. This guy was weak and led on and abused, and this is the kind of things that lead to divorce. And a lot of women treat their first marriages as a stepping stone. They get half of that man's assets or get enough money where they can start having a little bit of a nicer car and a little bit of a nicer clothes, and then they can step up and try to attract a wealthier man who might judge a woman or might judge somebody based on their clothes or their social status. She's going to be able to afford, after that first divorce, she might be able to afford to go to a little bit of a fancier party or a fancier club or a fancier bar or a fancier hotel, or go on some flights, on the airplane, up in the sky. And she's going to be looking and hoping to meet, the wealthier man. This kind of stuff is going on all the time. It's considered normal. Nobody's calling it out. Nobody's talking about it. And that's why at the Daddy Knows Best channel, I'm trying to bring this stuff to truth. And you're watching this live. This is a live recording. I appreciate y'all here. Feel free to get in that comments. Feel free to give me a like. Feel free to let me know what you think. But again, I don't know. I don't know why this is considered acceptable. I don't know why a lot of these men have accepted that they can be beat down this low, beat down into the dirt. And I'm not trying to, again, a lot of people come to women's defense. They come to women's defense. Maybe this woman was really this unsure. Maybe she was just confused. Maybe she really does love this man. You can't figure out what you like and what you don't like for 7 years. Of course, they're not going to ask her what she was doing during those 7 years. Was she dating somebody else? Was she being fun? She probably was dating a really rich, really wealthy man. Or she was trying to find that man. But maybe she couldn't get that man. She looks like she's an alpha widow. She's like 30 or so. Especially if she's been drinking or anything. At one point, this woman would have been pretty darn attractive. I mean, I just have to say that. At one point, she was probably pretty stunning. But, maybe she's been led on too. But again, a lot of the really wealthy men, the women are the ones who put the expectation forward. The men, some men are liars, yeah, and some men are swindlers and wealthy ones. Some of them are. But a lot of the time, the women assume that rich guy is going to fall in love. They assume that man is going to want to be with her. And a lot of these modern women, they don't really put that expectation, even if they got a guy who's wealthy enough and attractive enough, who's, even when she's essentially an escort, or a sugar baby, they in their mind think that that's going to continue. And they only start worrying about that when they, again, start hitting 30. They see start seeing those silver or their gray hairs. They start seeing that they get a little bit less attention from the wealthy or the really attractive men. That's when they start worrying about, what am I going to do? What's the plan? I got to do something. And this is the kind of game we're playing now. Men are too free with their money. They're too free with their attention, and they should only be dating or messing with women who are, not only attractive enough that they want, but also, for all these people who supposedly say believe the science, they seem to reject biology a lot. A lot of these people want to make it so it's like a crime to date or marry an 18-year-old or whatever. You men, I mean, if you want a family, I mean that you need you need to start speaking out, and you need to start acting out. Anyways, let's continue. This woman, she's 30 or so years old. She thinks that she should get this guy or get whoever she wants. Let's continue.
I think that's a long time to keep asking somebody for something, and they keep saying no, and then you go and do something else. So really can't get mad at the man.
Right.
He did what most men in here would have done. So I was...
See, he capitulates there. Hey there, Jonathan Lopez. Good to see you. Hope that you know that Steve Harvey, again, he's 50% right, and sometimes he's more than 50% wrong. But he capitulates. He said that he's essentially saying the man is a dog. After 7 years of waiting, the guy got her friend. That's what he says, that's just what men do. They see Steve Harvey is not going to open up the book of open up the can of worms. He's not going to open up the book and say, well, you let him on for 7 years. Why does he have to wait for you? See, he breaks it down and essentially says it's just human nature. He just says it's just human nature. See, the thing is, I do want to acknowledge there is a human nature aspect of this. Not that the man's a dog for wanting to have some fun. That's not the problem. It is human nature for a woman to want to possibly lead a man on a little bit. But it's for a short period of time. You as a man should be in social circles or if you are dating or looking to date, you really should be when you start becoming 25, 30, 35, maybe older, when you start having affluence and you start, actually going to social groups and, where you actually want to be and go around people you actually like, not some little high school dance. And then you get to choose what you actually like. I hope that you know that that's what you should be doing. It is normal for women to want to lead men on a little bit, but it's taken completely out of context because you as men, you don't step back and say have any control. You don't try to balance anything out. A lot of men you don't try to fresh cut. Oh yeah, I got that fresh cut going. Hope that it looks all right. Hope that you like it. I decided to go shave it all down and see how that would work for me. Good to see you, eSwan13. So, does that make sense? You as a man, you're supposed to balance and say what you want. You're supposed to say, I want this, and a woman might want that, and you're supposed to come to an agreement. You're supposed to balance things out. But a lot of men, you just wait for a woman to pick or to choose or to allow when or what things happen. That's why this leading on things this happens. And if you were to stand your ground or say no as a man, yeah, you're going to lose a lot of these women, but you're not going to be wasting your time. And this dating dynamic is a whole balance of things. It's a negotiation, and sometimes you lose and sometimes you win, but women don't get challenged. I like your shirt. I'm happy that you like it. It's kind of this like dark, kind of like multi-camo. eSwan says, I understand what you're saying, Ben, but what type of advice would you give to a very insecure man? A very insecure man. So you want to build that confidence. It's really hard to date out here these days. It might seem comfortable. It might seem like a good way to get your foot in the door to start talking to women, to get on dating apps. Again, if you don't have any type of status, or if you're just not particularly good looking, or the dating apps are really going to chew you apart. You think that they get your foot in the door, that you'd have a few friendships and you'd get to know somebody, but again, women are looking for validation on there. Unless you're extreme, again, it's the 80-20 rule. But women are only looking at or acknowledging the top 20% of men, or even or even more. There's women out there who are literally looking for the top 1% or 0.1%. I mean, and they expect that, and they're average looking, and it's a mess. If you as a man want to build up that confidence, you got, again, I would go to social events that you actually like. I would start going to concerts, or maybe things where, you know, if you're really insecure, you don't know how to break the ice, go to social events again, and maybe you're more comfortable with talking to men, and get yourself around other men. Help them build you up in those social events or those social circumstances that you actually like. Maybe you're into music, you know, a certain concert scene, or a certain type of a hobby that you like. You know, you might at first might not be confident enough to mess with these women, or maybe you know that, you know, you just, every experience is a bad experience, so why don't I try to watch other men have some success? So you might want to try to find some of those men. And again, a lot of men, they don't have much of a brotherhood anymore. If you're an older gentleman, there's gentlemen's clubs where they like smoke cigars, and there's like, maybe if you're in a big city, they might have like a burlesque dancing bar, or something like that. I'm not suggesting, and most certainly don't go to the strip clubs. I mean, you're just wasting money, and there's a bunch of weak men there. But building that confidence, you kind of want to see how other men are doing it, and kind of figuring out what you want to do, and kind of go to an environment where it's kind of casual. You know, again, a lot of people go to bars that used to be culturally acceptable and normal. Some of that goes on, but a lot of women, they just expect free drinks. And the women who still do the bar culture, you know, again, it depends on what you like as a man. Really, the bar scene is for old escorts. It's really a place where older women are looking to sell themselves out, or be an older escort to local men, so they don't have to put in as much effort, and they can find somebody more reliable, like they call him a John. So, you know, it's all kind of a mess, but you as a man can build up that confidence. I wouldn't go buy a dating program from really anybody. You know, these pickup artists and these gurus, you know, cheesy pickup lines. I mean, maybe there's some women out there who really like puns, and humor does go far with some women, but don't rely on little gimmicks. Don't rely on little games. You know, confidence really, in my opinion, as a man, confidence is not built as you have more, I guess, relationships. It can, you know, become easier, but confidence really comes from inside. It can't come from knowing that lots of women like you, or having women chase you. Sure, that builds your confidence. Sure, that validates you. I mean, that can make you feel real good if you got a bunch of attractive women that like you. But building confidence is more of like is more of a mindset. I hope that makes sense. And I'm not saying that you should start you know, going listening to astrology or the law of attraction. That's what a lot of these women are doing. I'm saying that you need to think about, you know, what you offer. You know, you got some kind of talent, you got something about you, you got something good about you, and think about that, and maybe that's can be your career, or maybe that can be something you aspire to make a good point about yourself. You know, somebody's complimented you at least one point in your life. You know, I haven't, you know, I didn't get a lot of compliments, and a lot of the times when I did get compliments, I never accepted those compliments. I've had people call me that I was a stud, but again, I was taught to not accept the compliments, and I didn't even understand what that meant. But I've had multiple points where men were calling me the stud, and you know, a lot of men are just not to, you know, not they're almost trained not to see or not to accept, you know, their own potential. I mean, or the good things about them. You as a man, you got something good about you. You know, you probably have done some kind of community service. You're probably working, and again, people hate on capitalism, but you're providing a service. or creating a product or doing something that somebody wants, and you're helping the world go along, and that there's something good about you that you're doing, and just think about that and the things that you're good at and those talents and the skills and the things that you're working on, and you should have a sense of inner peace. If women are leading you on, or if anything takes away from that inner sense of peace and quiet, again, I say these kinds of things because a lot of men are trained that you're 24/7. 24/7. You're supposed to be messaging, complimenting, liking post on Instagram. You're supposed to be validating 24/7. And women and men get sucked into this. They get sucked into this where they're 24/7 giving on the internet, giving compliments, messaging, sending little DMs and messages on Instagram and TikTok, and this is why you men, you're not allowing yourself to see your potential, because a lot of the times you're messing with this internet and you're messing with this technology, and nothing's wrong with the technology, but it just allows women to choose or to ignore, and be more picky and be more choosy than they already are. And if you as a man, I'm bringing this up again with the dating and with the Tinder and the TikTok. Love is a 5-letter word. It's incomplete without you. Oh, exactly. That's a good point, Jonathan. And I have to go feed my dog. Oh yeah. Are you back? Are you back, Jonathan? Hope that dog's all right. Yeah, you gotta love yourself. And what I'm trying to ultimately get at here is that, and I'm going to make a whole video about this. I'm going to make a whole big video about this. Validation cannot come. I mean, again, confidence and and you can feel good about yourself, and it's a good thing when you know that some attractive women like you. But your personal confidence or your personal sense of self, your identity and your purpose as a man has to be separate from a woman. You have to have inner peace. You have to be able to meditate or get into that Zen state, or maybe you're a part of some religion, or maybe you just like peace and quiet. Maybe you like whiskey, and you have a book. You want to get that little library, with those leather books, or whatever the heck you're going to do. You need to find a sense of self. You need to be able in your head, talk to yourself and encourage yourself and motivate yourself and be able to dream and think about where you want to go and what you want to do. If you as a man are constantly 24/7, just liking, commenting, donating, giving tips, giving money, giving likes to women on the internet, it can get you in this spiral of you think that can trigger that part of your mind where you think you're building a relationship. You might be watching Twitch or TikTok or something, and some girl might actually be responding to your comments, and you think that you're building a relationship. Most of these women don't want anything to do with you unless you're famous, or influential, and they know who you are. They're not just going to date some Joe Blow or just some random person, probably, unless you're able to, show that you got a lot of money and status or something, or that you're worth a lot of effort. Because again, these women they see hundreds, if not thousands of messages, especially if they're attractive. A lot of these women, attractive women, a lot of them actually turn off. They're not on the internet in general. On these social media platforms, you can't even really contact them, the really attractive ones, depending on what you're going for and what you can afford, I guess you could say. And if there is a way to contact them, a lot of the times they turn off their inboxes. Because imagine the waste of time it is. I mean, imagine if you are a really attractive, influential woman. Imagine you getting up in the morning and you got a couple hundred messages on Instagram. And then you open up, another social media, then you open a dating app up, even if they want to mess with them at all, and you got another couple hundred messages. Imagine, and then you wake up and that same morning, you got another couple hundred messages on Facebook Messenger, and all these other little apps on the phone, and she could have 1,000 messages in a day or more. I mean, you as a man don't understand what I mean, the things that these women are going through, and they don't talk about it. You as men are very open. We expose and we talk about, and we try to get the word out, and we're not so secretive. A lot of these women, they don't really let you know what's going on, because they get messaged like this. Did Twitch work for you? I just started. I've only started twitching again. I think I put like 4 hours into it. I'm gonna, I think, Twitch again, get on Twitch again here tonight. Hopefully I can build an audience and build some friends, and hopefully we can start getting that rolling. Hope that that's something y'all want to have fun and do. I'm gonna be playing a vampire, like a dialogue type of game. It's based on the same lore as Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I really love that game. If you like RPGs, highly recommend it. It's one of the best RPGs ever. Definitely play it with the unofficial patch from Nexus Mods, though, if you do want to mess with it. Eswan says, I agree with you about giving women too much on the internet. Asian chicks on Patreon have drained me dry. Oh no, my friend. I've got no one to blame but myself. See, that's the problem. A lot of men, your dads aren't telling you no. Your dad, I mean, you don't have fathers. I mean, a lot of people, fathers aren't being engaged. They're not helping their sons, and there's simply not a lot of fathers in households in general, because of the divorce rates and the single mother households and all this. And it can be tempting. I feel you, and that's one reason that OnlyFans, and I bring up this friend zoning thing, and I want this video to get out there, is because you think on OnlyFans you're getting a personal relationship. You can pay. Sometimes you have to pay extra, but a lot of the times, especially if she's not a very popular girl on OnlyFans, I know what you're talking about, and she can be messaging you, and it can almost be like a girlfriend relationship. I mean, you're getting to see something. You might be getting to see a whole lot on OnlyFans, and she's messaging you, and she might even be flirting with you. It might, and you're boosting up her ego, but she doesn't really have any intention of marrying you. You could send her pictures, and sometimes they'll even tell you that you're attractive, and I don't even know if they're being honest. And you as a man might fall in love with an OnlyFans girl, but everything is being monetized. And again, I'm all for capitalism. I'm all for the freedom of exchange of things, but there are some things that got to be said, that you got to say that they're unhealthy. And women monetizing, every single aspect of everything they do, I mean, that's kind of unhealthy, and that's what OnlyFans is allowing. There's women out here that are you don't even have to be a supermodel. You don't even have to be a superstar. You can be a little bit cute. And this whole dynamic that's changed everything, because you can't just date the girl next door. I mean, people used to talk about, the girl next door. She might look as attractive as you. She might be average or just a little bit pretty, and she might want to have something to do with you. And she might actually be pretty and cute and flirty. I mean, the girl next door thing is almost extinct or disappeared. I mean, the girl next door is on OnlyFans, and she's selling pictures of her feet, and she's making a heck of a ton of money. She's probably making more money than you. And that's with this social dynamic thing. You think that even if you are, again, a lot of you guys, you just want to hit it and quit it. But even if you are a guy who wants a relationship or marriage, you messing, this whole social dating dynamic thing, everything's monetized. So you got to find a woman who is not, she's willing to reject the privileges and the power and the validation and the friendship of things like feminism. But you actually also have to find a woman who's willing to reject all the money. It's very tempting for these women. I saw on TikTok where there was a woman, and she wasn't unattractive, but she was fairly attractive. an average guy probably would really like, probably be really attracted to her. And she was shocked. She went to a gas station, and maybe I can find this video, make a video about it for you. She was just going pumping her gas, and this guy comes out of nowhere, and he's friendly. I'm sure she was creeped out, but he offered her money. He paid, I forget what the total ended up. It was something like $50 up front because she was kind of scared and kind of shy, and he got foot pics of her at a gas station and got all these pictures of her feet. And I think she walked out with like $100, and she thought it was funny and cute. And what is a girl like that going to do? She's going to tell her friends. She's going to get on OnlyFans. And now every single interaction, if you want to smile from a girl, that's $5. You want to wink? That's a couple bucks. You want her to stick out her tongue? That's $1. And again, this has really gone too far. You men are paying way too much money for little to nothing. And your money should be, it should be treated like an extension of you. You spent your time, you spent your blood for this money. And again, some men have a lot more money. Some rich men, it's nothing to throw $500, $1,000, even a couple $1,000 at a woman to have fun, one night. But that arguably messes up the dating dynamics. If you're a man who's not making a lot of money and you're throwing every month, you're on OnlyFans and you're spending $50 or $100 on a couple OnlyFans girls, and you also are spending all of your time and your emotions thinking and getting emotionally invested, thinking that you're building a relationship. You as a man are going to be, you're going to be drained. Your bodily fluids, you're going to be draining those bodily fluids. I see some comments. I'm going to read them real quick. You're going to be draining your money, and you're not going to, you could have been spending that effort and that time building up a career, building up something you care about, building up a skill or a talent, where, again, it all depends on how wealthy the culture is, where you live, your nation. Again, a lot of people, men and boys aren't being told, but it's actually really normal throughout human history for you to become, as a man, 20, 25, 30, 35, depending on the culture and the wealth, where you have enough money where you can actually, and enough status, and you're skilled and you're talented, and it's socially normal when you start actually looking for a relationship. So if you're 20 years old, 25, and you could be putting that money, not only investing it into the stock market and all that, I'm talking about building up a business and building up a career and its skills and talents. Once you're going to have less options when you get older, and you're going to have less opportunities. You could be traveling, you could be flying around the world, and you could be more satisfied with yourself. It's just really messed up. OnlyFans has monetized relationships and emotion, and that's why I made that video, and I said it was kind of heartbreaking. I made, and YouTube probably promotes OnlyFans. I mean, the powers that be, the powers behind the curtain, they want OnlyFans to become bigger because they want to reduce birth rates and all this kind of stuff. And I made a short, one of those short little videos on YouTube, and it's over 1 million views. My channel's not that big. I have like 3,000 followers. I have produced videos for years, and shorts can become big, but I don't think I want to make my whole channel about OnlyFans, but I'm going to make a couple videos in the future, because a lot of men, and I'm sorry I've ranted on this for a little bit. We're about to get to the rest of the video, and I got to read your comments. But this is a huge ordeal. This is a huge cultural shift. And I think that OnlyFans, it's gonna, women, for some reason, if they get their egos, you stroke their egos enough, and if they're making enough money, then they feel fairly comfortable, especially when society is protecting them. Most women don't have to worry about protection because they got the police and they got their friends and they got everything else. So they don't really need men in that sense. But as they become older, they do see or feel that they possibly could have had a child or maybe had another child, and that's possibly what's going to make them unhappy. But on the other side, you know, if you continue to mess with OnlyFans as a man and you're not building yourself up, and maybe you're not working on that career, you know, you could have a bad job. You know, women, if you don't have enough money or status or influence, still might not really like you that much, and you could be getting into your 35s and 40s and be really unhappy. So this, I'm I'm trying to say that, you know, I'm not the type of ultra conservative who says OnlyFans should be shut down and should be banned, but culturally, socially, should we be feeding into this? I mean, should we? I mean, and this goes with the friend zoning thing too. Women don't seem to have any shame. Women don't seem to feel bad about leading on hundreds of men who, you know, I get a lot of men are just, they're just jerking off. They might not have any intention of love, but there's a lot of these men who are getting on OnlyFans who do want some connection, and they're chatting with them and they're talking with them, and they're talking about like love and saying like good night and I love you and all this stuff. You men, it's, you know, you can't play into that. You know, again, in the past, women, I mean, not only, you know, does a woman need a man for children, but in the past, if we have, you know, if our society wasn't so messed up, women would need men for physical protection. I mean, literal life and death, and they also need men for money and all kinds of things. But, you know, I hope that you see that men keep getting used. They keep taking away the powers that you have and stripping you from the things that, you know, make you beneficial. If women, you know, they keep talking about, oh, men being bad and men, you know, men doing things to women. If we, you know, didn't have these police and all these things, you know, men would respect the good men a lot more. Women would actually respect the good men and actually want and who would protect them and care about them. And if men weren't so free and throwing their money out and their attention, like on these dating apps and Tinder and all this, and throwing out all their likes on Instagram, I mean, imagine that would be a completely different scene. Women, you know, they want to be validated, they want the attention, they want children, they want protection, and they want your money. And men, you're just throwing all that stuff out there. You're just throwing it at them. You're just throwing it at them with no requirements, no expectations, you know, no limitations. You're just throwing it all out there at women, and women get to pick and choose, and they take it for granted. They just think it's normal that, you know. Again, I don't want women to not be safe, and I don't want women to be poor or destitute. I mean, don't put words in my mouth. I mean, that I'm not saying that kind of stuff. But if men didn't just throw out everything out there at them, imagine that, you know, and I'm not saying that men should control women. You know, more power to you if you want a career or whatever, women. But if men, you know, actually, you know, held back a little bit, you know, and I'm not saying that men need to lead women on. If you just came together and worked together and negotiated, you know, men offer a lot of things. Men offer a lot, but women, you know, it's taken for granted. They don't think about, or they don't necessarily see the sacrifices. I mean, you live in a society where you really don't have to worry about any dangers, and men are just throwing money at you. That's privilege. I mean, that's a lot of benefits. You don't have to worry about your safety really at all. And you demand and actually want to make curfews for men. I mean, you have that much political power that, you know, you actively want to make it a crime if a man looks at you for more than 5 seconds, and if you feel uncomfortable, or make a curfew for men that they can't go out after 9. But it's the same ridiculous thing like with gun laws. The people who don't obey the law are going to get away, but you're gonna be punishing the law-abiding citizens and the good people, the majority of good men, are going to be blamed, for the bad actors. But let me read these comments. Let me comment. It says, I'm glad you understand. Oh yes, I do, East One. It seems kind of convenient, doesn't it? On OnlyFans, somebody flirting with you, and you think that somebody wants to be nice to you, that somebody actually cares about you. You think that maybe she'll choose you. On OnlyFans, maybe this girl, she might not even be popular on OnlyFans. Let's say she only has 50 guys. You might hope in your heart of hearts, that she actually likes you. She actually picks you. Maybe she never becomes popular. Some of these girls on OnlyFans, they don't make it. Some of them do, but some of them don't. And you're hoping that, maybe she's a desperate college student. Maybe she loves you. The best thing that you could possibly get out of that, if you have money, and if you want to throw money at her, is if she becomes an escort or a sugar baby. But again, these OnlyFans and these internet girls, they don't even have to put as much work into it. And these women, like on these streaming websites where they're showing themselves, they don't even have to put in that much effort as, somebody who's actually going to meet somebody in person. They don't have to take those risks or put in those efforts. They don't have to travel to you or whatever. They don't have to do much of anything. And and trust me, this can get crazier. This can get worse. There's women out here, some of them now, who are so lazy. They think it's normal. They're openly trying to create an industry, create a career where women get paid money for their time to talk with you, to simply have a conversation with you. I don't know if y'all know this, but there's already professional snugglers out there. Just somebody who will sit with you and hug you, you go to essentially, and there's like bars for them, and I think that you can hire them to go to a fancy restaurant. Imagine you paying a woman extra money to just sit beside you and snuggle with you, just so you can feel that you have a human relationship. If you continue to throw money at women like this, I've already seen women talking about it. I don't know when it's going to happen. Might happen in like 10 years, but women want to right now. Like, I'm talking to you live, and you're just throwing money at her just because she's a woman, and she doesn't have to show anything. She doesn't have to perform. She doesn't have to tantalize you. She just has to sit there and talk to you. And you might debate and say that, oh, people do this kind of stuff like on Twitch, and that's essentially what Twitch is. Well, kind of. But imagine if it was like an adult or a place where essentially you just got to talk to somebody and pay you, I do know what you're saying, because it's already been proven. I mean, go on Twitch right now. And Amaranth is probably on there. She's this red-haired girl or woman, and all these like little boys are trying to talk to her and get validated, and getting their parents' credit cards and throwing money at her. And so this is proven. But I mean, she shows a little bit of something, and she does ASMR. She like licks and mix, like little tongue noises and like little, and she actually does something. It's not hard work. She's not putting in, she's not sweating. She's not bleeding. I guess entertainment is entertainment. But if more women see that all they have to do is talk to you, like let's say a phone call on a streaming service, trust me, I could set up an app right now and possibly be the founder of this, but I'm not that soulless. I mean, I couldn't do it. I could make myself a multimillionaire, probably set this up, and you pay women to just talk to you, just to be like your internet girlfriend and chat with you every once in a while, or send you text messages. Men would pay for that. I mean, before I started waking up, I'd pay for that. When you wake up, imagine if somebody really attractive, when you woke up in the morning, she texted you, you know, some really attractive woman, and and it was like a personal text message. I mean, I guess she could send it to a bunch of people at the same time in the morning and tell you good night to a bunch of people, um, text messages. But you know, men would pay for that kind of stuff. And if talked to you or texted you a couple times a day, and you got a phone call every once in a while, people would pay for that. You men would pay for that. I mean, you'd pay a lot of money, I bet, especially if she's really attractive. Um, let me see, Eswan. Let me read your comment, and then we'll get to the rest of this video. Eswan says, "I'm fully willing to defend foot pics, but I agree it's gotten ridiculous." Yeah, I'm not trying to tear apart the foot fetish guys. More power to you if that's your thing. Keep it going. Keep it thangin'. No kink fetishes over here. That's not what I'm doing. Because all women expect money up front, even if she doesn't hold your hand. She's definitely expecting something. Jonathan says he's got to go. Well, Eastwan, exactly. That's the problem here. You as men have given far too much of your money, far too much of your time and effort, and you haven't you've let them control the whole situation. You've let them control the whole dating dynamic. And that's the funny thing. When women complain about, you know, not getting certain benefits or not getting what they want, you know, it's just, I don't want to get political here. Again, the Republicans are a problem, but it's the same thing with the Democrats. The Democrats have been really controlling, you know, the public schools, the daycares, the high schools, the music, the Hollywood. And they control a lot. They've been running the social or the show. And it's the same way with the feminists. So if these feminists complain about something like, you know, beauty standards or something, you know, men shouldn't want to get foot pictures from attractive feet, or want to get on OnlyFans and pay for OnlyFans for the, you know, for the most attractive woman, or whatever it might be. You know, they've created this, and they're the ones who benefit from this. So don't let them tell you that you're the privileged man, you're the privileged person, because you're the one who's been being taken advantage of. And who's getting the money? I mean, who's getting the money? It's not the men, especially average men. You're not getting the money. It's the women. So let's wrap this video. There's actually quite a bit here. There's actually another person interviewed here. I could make this 2 videos, but let's continue. Let's continue on with this video, and we're gonna have some fun. So.
Say, if I were you, I'd give him a shot, but you got to block that out. You cannot bring it up. Now, are you gonna be able to do that? Probably not.
No.
So leave the man alone. Leave the man alone.
Exactly. So if you remember what we were talking about just a second ago, she led this guy on for 7 years, and he slept with and started having fun with her friend. Now she's led this guy on for 7 years, might not have really liked him before, but now he's competition because her friend's having fun. Her friend's talking about how good this guy is. Her friend might marry this guy. Now she wants this guy back in her pocket. She wants to put the guy back in the box. She's not putting out or doing anything even after 7 years. So now she wants to know how is she going to get this guy back? How is she going to control the situation? How can we make it back where maybe this guy's sending money, you know, sending roses, sending chocolate, doing this, doing that, and he's not getting anything for 7 years. And essentially Steve Harvey, he's saying, you know, just leave it be. You know, just leave it be. You know, what can she do? She can either try to, you know, keep it where it is, you know, where she was trying to friend zone him, or, you know, she can try to move the relationship up and try to compete with her friend and try to get that relationship. But I think Steve Harvey sees that saying just leave it alone, because this woman doesn't really want to commit or really doesn't want to love this guy. I mean, if a woman loved a guy, she wouldn't lead him on for 7 years. I mean, if a woman actually loved a guy, she wouldn't lead him on for probably even 6 months. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if a guy, if she actually loved him, I mean, but again, that's a whole nother video. When's the last time you've heard a woman actually talking about love? I mean, come on, let's be serious. I mean, lots of music about a man being in love or giving love or feeling love, but not a lot of music, not a lot of not a lot of women out here talking about, you know, they love a man. But let's continue. Let's continue on with this video.
Let him go on and have somebody else. Just leave him alone, because you're going to bring it up too many times.
Exactly. I agree with that part. Just leave him alone.
And the crazy thing is, I want to say this too. The crazy thing is, if this woman actually let this guy pursue and actually start giving him more hints, what I mean, this guy could drop her. He could hurt her feelings. I mean, he could step away, or what if they got married? You think this woman is ever going to forget that her friend, maybe her best friend slept or did something with her man? You don't think that that's going to become a drama, and that's a problem, especially if she can be hot and cold. You don't think she can be hot and cold, turn on the relationship or the feelings, or turn off her emotions hot and cold, if she's willing to lead a man on for 7 years? You could get married to this woman and she could be cold to you for years, and she could turn it on, turn it off. She wants to go out to eat. She could flirt with you. She could turn it hot. She could, she could do something when she wants something, but she could turn it off cold. I hope you men know that that's what you're dealing with. That is exactly what she could do. If you marry this woman that's leading you on, it's going to be a nightmare. And that's one reason a lot of people are saying Western women are ruined, because they expecting this money. You know, even if she does like you, and even if you can pay for her lifestyle, even if you can give her what she wants, what if there's another man who's willing to pay more money or do more for those foot pics, or whatever she can do? Or she can imagine, you know, maybe she gets a little bit older, 25 and 30, and maybe you decide to date or marry one of these feminists. She's going to remember how much money she was getting, how much attention she was getting. And in the past, it was about bars. You know, these women, before OnlyFans and before a lot of this technology, the women would remember and talk about how much attention and money and all these rich men that, you know, when they were going to the bars and the club scenes and the party scenes and all this. You know, that these days the women, they have to do even less. They want to put a price tag on them just talking to you. That's why I brought it up. Peace out. Oh yeah, you swan. Oh yeah, have a good time. Come back, and I'm gonna be making videos for you every day. So let's continue.
She didn't even want him anyway.
Exactly.
Anybody you friend zone for 7 whole years, you're not really interested in them. And if you all of a sudden become interested, it's probably not genuine. It's some sort of external force that pushed you into all of a sudden finding that person to be a viable candidate. Either he ran into some money, or in this case, he ran up in her friend, so now she want him too?
Or looks going down.
Homegirl is low-key jealous over her friend hooking up with a man that she never wanted anyway.
Yep.
Seems like a nice woman, at least in her interaction with Steve, but her thought process is revealing some things about her, and it will never work now in a relationship because he opened up a can of worms when he pursued her friend for, I'm assuming, their one-time hookup.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. And she's right on point. She's right on point. If she married this guy, you know, she's going to use that against him. She's never, even if she never says anything, she's never going to forget, and she's going to think that's a problem. And this guy's going to finally want to get something after 7 years, but she doesn't love this guy. She's not going to put out for this guy. And, you know, and again, a lot of you guys might do this to yourself. You might allow yourself to be led on by a woman. Maybe, you know, maybe she'd marry you once she hits 30, 35, her looks going down. Maybe you're the best option, or maybe she thinks she can control you. And if you are dumb enough to be led on for 7 years, you probably are going to be extremely blind when she's going to the clubs and the parties and she's finding your replacement. I said it, guys. I'm saying it straight to the point. I ain't playing games over here. I ain't playing games on my channel, Daddy Knows Best channel. You know, she's going out there to the clubs and to the party. That's why she gets mad, you know, when you go out with the boys. You go out to a club, you go out to a bar, because that's exactly what she would be doing, or that she knows that the potential, especially if you are more attractive than her, especially if you you know, you moving up, or you know, you just got a promotion or something. She knows what could happen. She knows what kind of girl she is, and what kind of other girls are at the bars and at the clubs, and you know, at those places you got to get a reservation, if you know what I mean. Get that reservation. She knows what's going on, and the funny thing is, you know, she's going to try to control you, but you as a man, you know, you can't control her. Oh no, you can't control her. You can't say nothing. You can't do nothing as a guy. But let's continue on with this video. Let's see what else they got to say.
So what about her? We friends. You gonna sleep with her?
Yep.
So when you gonna sleep with my next friend? You know, you
Oh
gonna,
yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
just let it go.
You're right, Steve.
Yeah. No, thank you, darling.
And last note on that one right there, we already know the real reason why she kept him in the friend zone for 7 whole years. He pursued her that whole time. She knew that he wanted her. She kept turning him down. And the reason why she kept him around, although she didn't want him, is because he made her feel good about herself. Somebody chasing her, and her ability to reject him. It gave her confidence.
We got an ad coming up.
That's why they do that.
For years, the perfume market's been an overpriced, olfactory oligarchy. Some of those bottles.
Aaliyah. Where's Aaliyah?
There we go. We got Aaliyah. We got Aaliyah on our head.
Hey, Steve.
Hey.
So recently I turned 24 and I've come to the realization that I haven't been on a real date before.
Oh no!
And as in real date, I mean being picked up, being courted, and I've noticed in my generation, men my age kind of just like to hang out and chill. They don't really like to schedule a time where we get together and actually go out to eat.
Oh, this is...
Guys, I hope that you're having some laughs with me. I hope that you're having some good laughs with me. This woman thinks we in 1985. You know, women should be wined and dined, and setting up dates and trying to escort and trying to meet the parents. I mean, hey, some of that traditional culture is still out there, but who changed this? Who changed our whole social dynamics? Who got rid of tradition? Who got rid of religion? Who got rid of courting and dating and chivalry? But don't get me on the the concept of chivalry or that discussion, because it's a knight's code. It's a medieval warrior's code. It has more to do with swords and horses than women, if you know what I'm talking about. But let's continue.
This is easy to understand. Plain and simple, the women before you, they ruined it for you. Yes, they ruined it for you. Going around having men pay for these expensive dinners, $100, $200, $300, $400 on the first date, lining up multiple dates with men they know they're not interested in, only to be able to either go out or make them feel good about themselves.
I'm very happy that a woman is willing to acknowledge this, because not only did we have the big, proud, confident, feminist women who said that they don't need no man, you know, they need a man like a fish needs a bicycle, and they've been beaten up and saying man ain't all that and men ain't nothing, and you know, deadbeat dads and broke men, and they've been saying and that all that kind of stuff. But you know, this woman, all that's a factor here, but also with her accountability. She's 25. She's 25. She's sitting back here saying, I've never been on a real date. Well, there's still traditional men out there. There's still religious men. There's still men out here that would, you know, might bring a woman out on a date with an actual schedule. You know, I'm gonna pick you up at 5:30, and we're gonna go, you know, go to the park, or we're gonna go, you know, to the restaurant. We're gonna go this place. We're gonna go do something, whatever it might be. And this woman is 25. Who's she been dating? Again, these women don't want to be accountable. She's been looking for Mr. 6 foot tall, Mr. Six Figures, making over $100,000. She's been looking for Mr. Man, who, he's strong down in there, if you know what I mean. He got something big in his pants, and she's never required that. But now she's 25. She sees that I talk about the 30-year-olds because that's considered socially normal. But even at 25, women can start losing their looks. Women can start losing their looks at 25, and they get less attention. 25 is the cutoff date for the really wealthy men out there. That a lot of wealthy men, that's the cutoff date, because women after 24, 25, they start getting those expectations. When am I going to get married? When am I going to get kids? And they're no longer fun. That's the time when a lot of these really wealthy men start kicking them to the curb. So you're looking at a woman right here. I don't know her history. I don't want to say anything bad about her. I have no idea who she is. But, she could have been an escort. She could have been a sugar mama. And now she's saying, where are the men who want to wine and dine, take me seriously, get married, have kids, possibly. That's my expectation now. I'm 25. I'm a feminist. I'm a career woman. I got all these expectations. I've never asked a man, to be traditional before. I've never dated traditional men. I've never loved traditional men. She's most certain. These kinds of women most certainly aren't going to keep themselves as a virgin. She probably hasn't built up her social status and kept a strong family unit. She most certainly doesn't respect her dad, probably, or her daddy. She most certainly doesn't have that strong relationship going. So what is she going to do with a traditional man? Or a marriage-minded man who wants to, get involved with your family and wants to build a family. These women are crazy. Yeah, at 25 years old, a woman can still have a couple kids, but it's normal and it's healthy. You could have given your best years if you are a marriage-minded woman. And I'm making my channel to help both men and women. If you're a woman out there and you want to be happy and you are marriage-minded, why are you going to college? And you might say, oh, I need that security. I need a job to fall back on. You can get yourself a college education on the internet. You can get yourself, build a career on the internet. And you don't need to go to a college, or you don't need to be, traveling the world and being an escort, doing all this stuff. You can't play both sides of the aisle. You can't be Little Miss Escort or Little Miss OnlyFans girl and then show up and say, I want a traditional man, even a religious man, and I want the whole kick and caboodle with the kids and the dog and the white picket fence. You don't get to play, you don't get to have your eat cake and eat it too. You don't get to play both sides of the aisle. And there are lots of women out here like this. This is why it's so hard to find a traditional woman. And that's why I say that you need to either find a woman before she goes to college or go international and outside of these Western countries and potentially find a woman who, doesn't want to play these games and actually wants to have a healthy relationship. If you actually wanted to find a man to love and for the rest of your life, and if you actually wanted to care about a man, why are you wasting your 18, 19, 20, when you're fun and when you're free and when these women want to get freaky? Why are you wasting your best years, just going out there when you could have been giving that to a man if you are a love-minded woman? And again, there's not a lot of love-minded women. And there isn't an expectation on these women to be love-minded. And you as man don't hold these women accountable to love. She's 25. She wants to be wined and dined. She wants the whole kick and caboodle. She wants a fancy house. She wants a fancy car. She wants Mr. Right. There's no love in this equation. These women don't talk about love. Where's the love in all this? There ain't no love. And a lot of these women like this, they ain't talking about tradition. They aren't talking about families, and they most certainly are not talking about religion. Let's continue. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
That somebody's pursuing them, that somebody's spending money on them, that they're able to get a man to open up his wallet, outright thinking that they are entitled to this. And it's very simple. The men got tired of it. That's why the younger guys, they're trying to chill with you at the house. And honestly, now they have to vet you before they even go and take you on a date. They're not interested in spending $150 to $500 on every random woman that they meet that they may not ever see again.
Oh, yeah.
And recently I started liking this guy, and I know he likes me back, but he hasn't asked me out on a date. So how do I approach that conversation without seeming pushy or scaring him away?
Well, ladies, look, it's not being pushy. Here's the deal. Young guys now do it the way they do it because you allow them to do it this way.
And this is one of the reasons I made this video. Maybe I'll make a separate video about this as well. There is some truth to that. Women have influence. Women can have expectations. Women can, say what they want and accept or reject. Of course, women have the choice to say yes or no or do whatever in a relationship, but men do as well. And he ignored the whole situation. He ignored the whole situation. How we got here is feminism destroyed traditional relationships. It destroyed it openly attacks culture. It openly attacks so the previous social norms. Men and women, natural relationships, and they openly attack religion as well. And he wants to sit here and say that the real problem is that, women just don't have enough control, or, they just not controlling the situation. If you're a 25-year-old woman who wants to be wined and dined, you got to find, you better find a modern traditional man, a man like you who wants some of the old and some of the new, still believes in marriage. You had your fun when you were younger. But it's again, you're going to have to find a dummy who, maybe, or an attractive man when he was younger, when he was in high school and college, and he was able to fool around because he was attractive. Again, a lot of these men out in high school and in college, unless you're really attractive or you're wealthy, a lot of these men aren't really getting that much experience. They're not really getting that much fun. These women are. Especially when they go into hot girl summer and they going on holidays and they go into Cancun. I mean, the number's going up. The number's going skyrocketing, if you know what I'm talking about. And these women have the audacity to act like they, and somebody like Steve Harvey has the audacity to say, just women just need to control the situation more. Yes, she doesn't. If this is something she believes in and she cares about, she needs to say yes to the traditional men and say no to the non-traditional men. Again, she's not going out there and trying to find herself a traditional minded man where there would be expectations of a wife and responsibility, that culture or a religion or whatever kind of man that guy is. She knows a guy. He thinks he's attractive. He probably just wants to hit it and quit it. That's the culture that you created. If you're 25, you can't say that, just your mom and your grandma just ruined it for you. You're 25. If you were serious about, marriage and serious about having real relationships, you're 25. You had 5 more good years to make a relationship or have a marriage actually happen. So she's not blameless. She's got a little bit of responsibility on her shoulders too. But these you can't let these modern women run around here and say that they're just going to have more control of the situation. The problem is that men, they just got to control the men, or men are dumb, or men are the problem. Men capitulated. Men have been doing exactly what women wanted the whole time. Women don't want most modern feminists do not want the whining and dining relationship anymore. That's not what they want. They want their little careers. You know, and they want to go out there and party or pick the wealthy men, and they don't, you know, these successful feminist type women, these city women, that some of them still expect the whining and dining, but a lot of them just don't care about it anymore, and that's not a part of the culture anymore. But again, there's women out here that they're going to say, oh, we need the chivalry, and they're still going to expect all these things, you know. And again, I bring this up because a lot of you men don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. You're not paying attention. Women are picking and choosing what they want out of traditionalism and feminism. They get to pick and choose what they like, and they can pull it out of a hat. They can pull the rabbit out of the hat just like a magician and say, today, you're going to be Mr. Man, going to bring me out on a date. We're going to wine and dine. Tomorrow, she's going to reach into that hat, and let's say she's going to pull out something different. She's going to pull out a crow, and she's going to say, I am a confident, you know, I'm a confident feminist businesswoman, and you know, and she's going to dominate you and whip you and wear some latex, if you know what I'm talking about. So I hope you know that this is the game that's being played here. This is the game. And it's just shocking to me that there's people out here that are going to have sympathy. They're going to have sympathy or think that there's something wrong with the men. They're going to have sympathy for this woman and think that there's something wrong with men out here. Why aren't they whining and dining? Why aren't they paying for dates? Why do they want to go Dutch? Why do they want to pay 50-50 on dates? What's wrong with these men? As if men are the ones who change the social dynamics. You know, men in general or at large have little to no social power. They capitulate and they do exactly what the women want. But then we don't acknowledge that the women had the power and the women were controlling the whole thing. And we're not going to, when are we ever going to hold women accountable? I mean, accountable for anything. I mean, when's it going to happen? At what point are we going to acknowledge that women had power or influenced or chose something? This is the same reason when you ask a woman where she want to go to eat, and she won't ever tell you where she wants to go to eat because she's not going to be accountable. You know, she's never going to allow a man, especially a man that she wants to control, to see that, you know, she made a choice, so there's consequences, and that you know, that's also control of information. You know, you as a man, you're not supposed to know what she likes, what she dislikes, what she wants to do, what she can do. You're supposed to be in the dark. You're supposed to be blind as possible. You're supposed to be the, you know, the sheep. And whenever she wants to divorce you and take all of your money, she can run off with your money and all that too. So let's continue. It's
really, really that simple. I'm not knocking millennials at all. All my kids are millennials. Yeah. Because you're really the brightest group of people that have come along in a long time. You all are absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
You just gotta, it's a couple of things you all missed because you're so advanced in technology. Yeah. And dating is still boy meets girl. That don't change. You gotta look in somebody's eyes and you gotta feel something.
It's boy meets girl. It's not, see, they're putting that social expectation still on men. People have the audacity to do this. That's not our culture anymore. That's not our culture. The boy doesn't have to approach. The boy isn't necessarily supposed to be asking. You got to meet on mutual ground. And where are the women asking men out? You know, and men having the choice to say no. That, I mean, in this world of equality, where we supposedly been fighting for equality for 40 odd years, where are the women? Where are the women who are asking men out on the dates? And men having the choice to say no. And women, when they do get rejected, if these men do say no, where are the women who are accepting and saying it's okay? It's a-okay if that guy says no. It's a-okay if that guy rejects me. It's a-okay if, you know, I got to play this social dynamic like men have, where they got to figure out where they sit and lower their expectations or figure out, you know, who likes them, who likes you, which woman likes you, and adjust your expectations accordingly. You know, there's none of this balance. There's none of this balance of things. I mean, in this world of feminism, you're still going to pretend as if men need to go out there, boy meets girl, men or boys out there need to go out there and pursue women. Oh no. Oh no. We're not going to let that stand. We are not going to let that happen on this channel. You don't get to play this game and say those kinds of things anymore. You don't get to talk like that anymore. No, 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 no. That's just not going to happen. I mean, they're going to try to keep this going on for years. I mean, decades. They're going to keep this going as if there is still the social expectation on men to pursue and to pay and to give and to sacrifice and to love and to protect and to die for women. I thought we had feminism over here. I thought we had some equality. I thought we had some equality over here. I mean, hey, where's the equality? There ain't no equality over here. I mean, feminism isn't about equality. Let's continue. Let's continue on. See what else we got to talk about over here.
You can't text that.
More than that, I think it's a city girl mentality that I'm gonna get whatever I can get out of a man and not give anything mentality. The women of today, they want more than a date at Applebee's, Red Lobster, or Chili's. In fact, a lot of them, they look down at that, which is crazy. They want Papa Dough, Ruth Chris, STK. They want men to spend 5 to 10% on his monthly take-home pay to have a dinner date with them, a complete stranger. You may not even like each other after the dinner because some of them, they know they don't like you before the dinner. And so his hard-earned money is going down the drain. But they're good because now they're full off a nice dinner that they wouldn't even buy for themselves. But hey, let's go ahead and get the conversation started below. Is Steve right about millennial dates? And in the situation before, what do you think about her all of a sudden being interested in that man after friend-zoning him for 7 years? Shout out to Tyrone W, Walter G, Ricardo.
Okay. As you're going live this time. Yes, SintQuest, I am. I'm going to be doing these more as a radio show every day. I'm going to try to do them at 12 noon. And let me know if that's a good plan, if that's a good idea, so you can see me and that we can have a real conversation together every single day. I want this to be our radio show, our place, where we talk about men's dating, men's relationships, and men's lives, and people all around the world. I care about women as well, and I want women to be happy. I hope that I'm very clear on this channel. Some people are going to pretend as if I'm just beating down on women. No, we got to come together. We got to work together, and sometimes women got to be told no. Sometimes women got to be told they're out of line. This ain't right. This is not okay. And for example, who can defend a woman leading a man on for 7 years? Who can sit here and say it's just okay, it's all right, or it's even a good thing that a woman leads a man on for 7 years? And if you don't have a good answer for me for that, just tell me. I mean, right now, be honest. If a man led a woman on for 7 years, and she's 30, so imagine if she was 23. Imagine what kind of reaction people would have if a man had led on a woman from 23, or let's say from high school through college, had led her on all throughout college. And again, we know that these women, in the past, they might have been more loyal than men, but now the women, they're more promiscuous than men now. Again, women are now more promiscuous. But imagine this opposite relationship. I'm making an example of this for a reason. So again, let's imagine the man led the woman on for 7 years or through high school to college, and let's say she was virtuous. Let's even go extreme here and say she was a virgin. And there are still men out here there's a few of them who do stuff like this. And she waited for 7 years to date this guy, and he just kept leading her on. And then the woman, after being led on for 7 years, I'm making an example because it's the opposite in the story here. Then the woman decides to hook up with this guy's friend and have a relationship with his friend. After 7 years of waiting, and the guy was leading her on. And again, and if a man is led on, he's given gifts, he's wining and dining, he's given roses, he's given chocolate, he's given a validation, emotional support, You know, she's telling all of her little friends, key, and they're laughing and they're giggling all the way home. But imagine if a man, you know, that woman stepped out after being led on for 7 years, and then the guy said, I'm not happy, and he got angry. Imagine how society would react. If that would be on international news. That'd be on the news. They write blogs about that. You know, the man, imagine if a man had led a woman on for 7 years, then she dated or slept with his friend, and then this guy's going to try to, imagine if that guy had tried to figure out how to control, you know, women are never controlling, of course. This woman actually led somebody on for 7 years. Of course, she's not controlling. But if a guy, don't even get me started, if a guy just wants to, you know, have a normal, stable relationship, oh, that's controlling. But a woman can lead a guy on for 7 years. Just tell me what kind of reaction people would give. What would people say? What would people say? I want you to be honest. Let me read these comments here, and let's wrap up with this video. All is fair in love and war. Well, it's certainly a competition, Caboose Juice. That's a good point. Nice. I like your attitude, SitQuest. I do appreciate that, and I'm a friend here with you as well. I'm here for you. Getting guests onto your streams could be big. I would like that. That could be a good idea to get some interviews going. That would be very, very fun. RXL, if a man did this to a woman, male family members would be physically violent towards him, and society would deem it acceptable. Exactly, RXL. If a man led a woman on for 7 years, and she was being a little bit loyal, maybe she was completely loyal, maybe she was a virgin. If a man did that, and then he was trying to figure out how to control her after she, you know, started dating or flirting or slept with, you know, his friend or somebody he knew, yeah, his family would disown him. You would be disowned from your own family, or they would become violent against you, and your friends would turn against you. And this is the kind of stuff you can get kicked out of your job for stuff like this as a man. You know, you could get fired for this. But it's just normal for a woman. No, you know, again, I hope that you realized in this whole video from the Steve Harvey show, people gasped and said, "Oh," and they acted sad, not when she had led a man on for 7 years. That a few people said, "Oh," and that they were kind of shocked after the man had, you know, supposedly, quote unquote, cheated when there was no commitment and no relationship, and he was led on for 7 years. I hope that you see that even some women are on her side. And this is what's happening to you men out there. I mean, and this isn't a normal situation, but you know, no men are most men, a lot of these whipped blue pill or weak men, they're not going to come to your defense. You could be led on for years. I mean, the worst of things could be happened to you. You could get divorced. I mean, I have literally talked, again, we're wrapping up this video here today, and I see your great comments. I'm gonna get to them here in a second. I wanted to make this point, and I haven't mentioned this one yet. I don't think I've ever mentioned this one, but I'm gonna mention it probably in the future, because I got to give y'all examples. I got to give y'all stories and things you can relate to. So I was working at a warehouse one time, and this guy was telling me how his wife had cheated on him. He was sad about it. You know, he still liked her. He still wanted her back. He was still trying to get his wife back, who had cheated on him with a policeman. Supposedly she had been stopped. Maybe she was speeding. Maybe she'd gotten a ticket. And I don't know what happened. I mean, I don't know exactly what happened, but for all we know, that woman, you know, she showed a little bit of her shirt, if you know what I mean, and she got out of her ticket. And what happened next? You know, the policeman, maybe the policeman's got her number. Maybe she gave her number to the policeman, and then they were going, you know, hot and heavy, if you know what I mean. And he told me about how, even if, we all know that even if the woman cheats, they call it no fault divorce, but it's really men's fault divorce. Men always lose all their money in divorce. That they lose the house, and if or 50% of the house or more. And this is why women try to get their names signed on to the house, even if they never paid for a single bill of the house or anything. They try to get signed on to the car because they can take even more possession or more ownership of those kinds of things and run away with even more money. And anyways, this guy literally had been cheated on and still wanted her back, still liked her, and still had, he was so oblivious, he still had the assumption that he could get back, some things that he had lost. Again, if you get divorced, she takes most if not all the possessions in the house, especially if she lies about you and says that you were violent or or aggressive or confrontational in any way. If you ever raised your voice to your wife even once, no matter what she did to you, if you raise your voice, she can get you, heavily punished as an abuser. So you're not even allowed to go back to your house to get any of your possessions. Doesn't matter if it's heirlooms or whatever. He talked about possibly getting back a few of the things that he had lost, or a few of the things that he cared about. And I tried to tell him, I'm like, you're never going to get those things back. You're never going to get those things back. Why are you talking about this? And he actually got mad at me, and he actually got defensive. And I tried to be a friend to this guy, and I told him, I'm like, that stuff has probably been sold off to a pawn shop. And he, he got mad at me. This guy had the audacity to get mad at me. I'm trying to tell him to move on and possibly find a new woman. And this guy just wouldn't build up his confidence. Both of us didn't have a great job. But this guy's literally going to hope and try to get this girl back. And this is the kind of guy, if his woman gets divorced from this cop, this policeman, he's going to take her back. This woman divorced him, cheated on him, stole everything from him. And there were kids. He lost his kids. I don't know if there was a dog, but you can lose your dog, you can lose your pets. And he'd take her back. He would have taken her back. And I make this example because, a lot of you guys, it's tough. You still want to convince yourself of a love or a relationship or a lust or desire that you used to have. And you think that somehow things can go back to normal, but things aren't going to go back to normal. Just like with dating, these feminists and these people, they tore apart our culture, and our religions, and then they expect to be wined and dined. They expect to be treated like little princesses, and they get to pick and choose, if they want doors open from them today or not. Some women say that, men should give up their seats to women if they want them, or et cetera, et cetera. And so they get to pick and choose what they like. It's like a catalog for them, and they have no shame. They have no shame about any of this. And you as men just need to know that, you have the power to say no. And that's the biggest thing. Women have been using the power to say no to control almost everything in society. If you started saying no, and, maybe you have to step away, maybe you have to make your own businesses, maybe you have to find other men, who are decently minded. Imagine the good that would do for society and the world if you actually, stepped away from these relationships and the OnlyFans and these streaming services and all these things, and you put your money and you put your effort into you and your talents and your skills and your physical fitness. And I'm working on all that too. Hey, I'm not a perfect man. I'm working on all that. And there's still some part of me that I still would like a family. I'd still like a kids. I mean, maybe there's some woman in some foreign country who actually would like to work with me and actually would like to be a friend, and some place where the laws aren't so crazy. Maybe I can work something out. But you know, you as a man are going to have to try to step away, because it's almost like a form of addiction with these women, because you naturally want to feel that love, you know, love and support. You know, your mother gave you that. I see a lot of these young men, especially if you come from a affluential or a wealthy family, and these little boys are like catered to, and all these women like smile at these little boys. And you know, I wasn't raised like that. And then you think it's normal to have like attractive, smiling women around you. It's hard to step away from that. It's hard to, you know, step away from that. But you're being used, and some of you men, you know, you're on the complete opposite side of things. You don't have women smile at you. You know, even if you offer women money or gifts, they ignore you. Women won't talk to you. You get attitude. I mean, I get attitude. I can go through a drive-through, and most of the time women are just rude. And I had a woman, you know, she gave me the wrong order of food one time as I was going through a fast food place, you know, like a McDonald's or something. And and she accused me of trying to get her fired. I think she said it under her breath, but I have good ears. I mean, your daddy over here has good ears. And I heard her essentially accuse me of trying to get her fired when she messed up the order. And I don't know what was going on with this woman, but you know, if you as a man tried to start an argument or say anything, you know, a bunch of men are going to come to her defense. You can't, you know, you almost can't win. So I'm also trying to say that women are a problem, but also a lot of men. A lot of men want to be used or want to capitulate, and a lot of other men are a part of a problem. This is why it's almost really dangerous. So you have to be really careful with who you spread your good ideas with, and why people get suspicious of you. At that same job I talked to you about with the man being cheated on, there was also somebody who was constantly watching me and acted as if I was a player. And I actually avoided the women, actually young woman, one woman who actually acted shy and kind of flirted with me at the job. And I just avoided her. And he acted like there was something wrong with me, that I wasn't married, and that I didn't really date women, and that I could control myself around women. That, you know, but he was a guy who like married his high school sweetheart, you know, one of those type of guys. And he thought that, you know, every man was like incomplete without a woman. You know, there's something wrong with a man if you know, you're not dating a woman. And I agree that men and women should come together. Men and women should be trying to build a relationship or build a family, or you know, or just care about each other. But you know, you got to be careful. And there ain't no love going around in regards to women. I'm sorry. Maybe it was that way 30, 40 years ago. It was better. Now let me read these comments, and we'll wrap up this video for today with some of my final thoughts. Let's see here. We need to... Oh, there's a bunch of comments. Thank y'all. This is awesome. Maybe a lesson that needs to be learned. Women waste time in relationship. It's usually funny. It depends on if you're a weak man. Yeah, I'm going to do a live tomorrow as well. But yeah, I guess it can be funny, but if women are wasting their youth away, or if they're trying to waste your time, it's kind of crazy. You can't con an honest man. He had to have been deceiving himself. Absolutely, Caboose. I'm not trying to say that men are, you know, weak, or I don't know, that they don't have any responsibility. Men have a lot of responsibility, and a lot of these men out here who want to defend women, even in this modern Me Too movement, feminist world, they still want to, you know, defend women. They're deceiving themselves, and they think that I guess they think that they're Mr. Perfect, and and that they can use this system or use the situation to their advantage. When women wait, I read that. RXL says maybe Caboose is right. Every woman ever been harmed by a man needed to be taught a lesson. That's an interesting thought. I wouldn't say that everything is justified against women. I don't think that is what you're trying to say. But when a woman has felt disappointed, or when a woman is, it could have been something better, or some woman says, she regrets something. It's usually her fault. But I mean, I guess it all depends. But yeah, a lot of men need to say no. A lot of men need to reject. I'm not really suggesting revenge on this channel, but if a lot of times the best revenge is living well. If women see that men out here are happy, and you're successful, and that you're not giving money to women, or that you're actually attracting the attention, or you're dating really women that are more attractive than her, that is kind of the best revenge you can get. If a woman rejected you, again, I wouldn't do these things out of spite, but we all have an ego. We all have emotions, or a personality. And, if you feel really hurt by women, if something really bad has been done to you, the best thing that you can do is become successful, or possibly date a woman that's more attractive than her. That's the best thing to do. I wouldn't do anything directly against a woman, because it's just dangerous. Because all these men are going to take action against you. They can use the law against you. They can use your job against you. Your own social circle will turn against you. So let's see here. Caboose says we don't have to imagine every kind of relationship is played out every day. Absolutely, Caboose. Women are picking and choosing and playing these games, and you can see it all around you if you open your eyes. It's going on everywhere. Caboose says, "Lol, don't put words in my mouth." I think we're both right. Let's see. RXL says, "I'm sorry. Let me use your exact words. You can't con an honest woman. She's been deceiving yourself." It would be nice if women were more honest. Again, a woman like this led a man on for 7 years, and then she can't honestly tell you if she likes the man or not. She doesn't love the man, but she feels her ego, or her, she's so prideful that she wants to control this man, and she can't let her friend or her best friend get her little boy toy and take away her attention that she used to be getting. And again, in the past, women would do this. I mean, this did happen in the past, but it would be seen as shameful, or maybe she could do it for a short period of time, but eventually she would have to pick one of these men. Women in the past didn't get to lead a man on for 7 years. If a woman was leading on 3, 4, 5, 6 different men at a time, and she didn't marry one of them in a couple months, she was seen as somebody really bad, especially if she was accepting the gifts. If she was taking gifts and money and roses and flowers and chocolates and things, that was shameful, and it was seen as she was seen as a very bad woman. And we need to bring back, again, there's lots of shame. I don't like shaming culture and that type of stuff that goes on, and that kind of social dynamic, but we do need to have some kind of social expectations. There's a lot of shame on men. There's a lot of there's a lot of people who are willing to say that men are shamed every day, that men ain't good enough, that men ain't doing nothing right, that and it beat me down. I was a young man at college. I was doing community service for people. I was helping women moving their heavy furniture. I mean, I was doing religious services. I was helping people and I cared about people, and all I heard was like lessons and sermons, and I was being told all the time by teachers and professors and things, men aren't smart enough, men aren't good enough, men ain't doing enough, and I as I remember it now, it's almost unbelievable. It's like it's like some kind of disease that men, I think that the more they capitulate, or the more that they beat down other men, that they somehow have higher social status with women, or that they make themselves look good or something. It's kind of like the same thing with this victimhood culture, I guess. Maybe it's kind of mixed into that, with this victimhood culture. I'm not sure. Caboose says we need to do an ex-lover stream and bring them in to really see what was going on with men and women. That's a really good idea. That might get really heated. That could become quite the argument. Two ex-lovers. That's going to be a fight. Maybe I can do that. I would love to do that. That'd be a lot of fun. You're giving me some good ideas. RXL says men are always left financially ruined. Women usually see financial gain. Absolutely. I've heard of some sugar mamas out there, some older women who are willing to pay for men, but I don't see a lot of them, and I don't hear a lot of them, and I don't think it's very common. I think that it would have to be, I don't know, a particularly attractive, man or boy, younger man, and I don't know a lot of women who do that, because again, these women, even these 40-year-old women, they're still able to, a lot of the times, go to the clubbing scenes, and they can still get 6-foot-tall men. They can still get really attractive men. Some of these women are out there, they're playing till they're 40 or even 50 years old. They're still getting men who are 6 foot tall, and people who are willing to satisfy them, I guess you'd say. Let's see. SintQuest says women are usually passive aggressive, but when they are violent, usually they don't face. Absolutely. Women, their violence is excused. It's very common, depending on your culture or where you live. It's actually fairly acceptable for women to slap men. I've actually seen it recorded where women can actually, if you offer gifts or you propose to a woman and she doesn't like it in public, it's considered, a shame on her that, I guess you were such a pathetic man, and it offended her so much that she can throw the gift at you, or possibly even try to punch you. I've seen that recorded, and nobody came to the man's defense. Nobody came to defend the man. But imagine if a woman proposed to a man, and a man started throwing things at the woman. I mean, imagine the reaction. I mean, just imagine. But let's continue. Ben, would any ex-lovers come on stream with you? I don't think so. I really don't want to deal with anybody who I've dealt with in the past. I like to close those doors, and I try to never look back. I don't think anything good. I mean, besides exposing them, but there's a lot of content out here. Women are exposing themselves for free on TikTok, and like every day. I mean, in places like this. But I do think it would be it would be fun, if we could have like a radio show program and see if we could get people back together, and get people to be more honest. But I don't want to deal with anybody I've dated with. I don't keep in contact with them. I don't keep their phone numbers. I don't even want to bother to remember them. They're not worth my time. So, SintQuest says dress. STX says Cuddles crew. Is Mr. Miami Cuddles in here? What's going on? Caboose says, so what's the plan, Daddy? You highlight all the problems, but what do you now you know? Oh, what do you do? I'll be making a video about that. But this video here today is about not being led on. This video here is about specifically opening men's eyes and saying, don't let women lead you on. If you have your own social expectations, if you are a more traditional man, you best be careful. You again, I discourage everybody from getting married until the laws are changed. And even with decent or fair divorce laws and marriage laws, um, there's still a social problem with marriage where men are still expected to give so much, and their labor and their efforts and their emotions are still not seen as in a fair light, or they're you're still not respected as a man. But you men, just don't let anybody lead you on. If you're interested in a woman, there is seduction, and there is you can build a relationship. But if she's not showing serious interest in you, again, please don't do this at the workplace. There's all kinds of laws on the books. She can lie about you to get a promotion. She can lie to you to get money from if she sues you, or sues your job, or sues your company where you work at. Please don't try to seduce or try to date these career women at where you work. But just don't allow yourself to be led on. If you have expectations, a lot of younger men are waking up to the game. If you've been on a woman a couple times and she's not putting out, drop her. If you're a traditional minded man and you want marriage, if you've been dating for 3 months or 6 months, and you should be vetting. Again, you shouldn't be trying to talk yourself into a relationship. You should be trying to talk yourself out of a relationship and find somebody who's really compatible with you. A lot of men, they're looking for any woman who will say yes for any reason. You're looking for any excuse to get married or any excuse to date her. You should be looking for the bad signs. When a woman is talking to you, I hope that you know this, man. When a woman is talking to you, she's looking for the things that you do wrong. She's looking for the times that you don't measure up, where you don't meet her expectations, where, you messed up. You need to be doing that as a man. You can, again, there's different expectations that you might have. You might want it so that, she has a certain level. She can't be so promiscuous that, she's had hundreds of men. And it depends on you. Maybe you don't care that she's had hundreds and hundreds of men. But maybe you're trying to build a family or build a relationship, and you don't want the garden tool, if you know what I mean. Or you can have a certain expectation. There's all kinds of different expectations that you might have as a man. But again, it could be everything from religion to politics to education to there's a lot of requirements. But just you as a man need to take control of your side, your position, or you have a choice. You use the power, or use the affluence or the influence that you do have. If a woman is leading you on, or if you start to feel that a woman is leading you on, call her out. Tell her that's what's going on. And if there's any time that you disagree with somebody you're dating, and they're not willing to explain themselves, or they start playing that hot cold game, or whatever it might be, just drop them. If she's not willing to be really open with you and honest, just drop them. You might think that she's going to do something with you, or maybe she puts out every once in a while. If she's not going to be honest with you about something, I'd say just drop them, unless you're the guy who just wants to keep some plates spinning, and you keep wanting to, and you just have some women on rotation. If women aren't willing to be honest with you, that's that would fix a lot of problems if women were just honest, and if men would actually just call out women. If you make a mistake, or if you do something that women don't like, they'll not only turn on you, but they'll get your friends and they'll get your family turned on you, And trust me, there's the people you know, your girlfriend has spread a lot of information or gossip or even a lot of lies about you, and I've seen it where your own mother and your own father can turn against you just because of the lies of a woman. And if you divorce a woman, and even if she cheated on you, if you divorce a woman, and even if she tried to harm you or do something to you, and there's a kid involved, I mean, it happens. I mean, mothers turn on their sons because all they care about is that grandchild. I mean, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. But let's continue reading some of these comments. Let me wrap this up. I can't live in fear. Absolutely, don't live in fear. Take control. You know, you as men need to be able to say no. And again, love is a battlefield, as Pat Benatar would say. All is fair in love and war, I guess they could, as they say. And I'm not saying for men to be getting out here and be more promiscuous or have more fun. I mean, more power to you if you want to. But the point of these videos is to actually say no. You know, again, if you want to have a bunch of fun with easy women or whatever, do whatever you want. But I think it would be really great if men actually start getting out here and actually saying no to a bunch of women and actually changing the dynamics, because, you know, women are never told no. Women are almost never disagreed with. Women are almost never told that they're not good enough or not pretty enough. And women, of course, try to deflect and lie about all this kind of stuff, like with their own personal insecurities. When's the last time you ever saw a man publicly say to a woman anywhere that, you know, she's just not attractive enough, or she's not wealthy enough, or she doesn't have the right temperament or the right attitude? When's the last time you ever saw that happen? And a man just walks away, and the man just and you can do that. You could just walk away. I can't tell you how many times women have tried to pretend to act shy around me, and tried to make themselves look weak. You know how they play that game a lot of the time when you first meet a woman, and you have to approach them, and I just walk away. I just walk away. I do it. I've done it a lot, and I do it fairly often, and it's really funny to see how shocked they kind of get, how shocked they are, and they'll like run to their little friends and they'll start gossiping because they want to figure out who you are. They want to figure out who you are because, you know, maybe you were somebody really wealthy or really influential, or maybe somebody that they can't control, or maybe they need to figure out how, you know, they can get you. Because a lot of you men don't know that, you know, if you say no and you start getting, again, I don't think it's healthy that you have women, you friend zone women, or you have women, you intentionally friend zone women. But if you're an attractive man, or you're becoming fairly influential or fairly wealthy, or maybe you just don't date a lot of women, that makes women curious. If you don't give all of your secrets away, if you don't tell women everything about you, if they don't know really where you live or really much of what you do, if you aren't very open with your emotions, and you don't date a lot of women, and then again, if you add fame or fortune or anything on top of that, you can have lots of women around you. And if you're ignoring those women, that makes you more and more valuable over time. Now, some women will get bored of you. And this is one of the big points I wanted to make with this video. Women can get bored with you if you know, some women will just go away, or they'll just get bored. You know, a lot of the times they like to feel like they're in the seat of power, or they're the ones who are choosing, and they're the ones who are picking. But if you put yourselves in social environments, and you start getting building a bigger and bigger friend circle, and then you constantly are just going solo, or you're just rejecting women, or maybe a woman actually asks you out on a date and you just tell them no. And also, if you do have these little blue pill weak men around you, you can use them to your own advantage. I'm gonna use I'm gonna make a video about this in the future as well. You can give them information that, you know, again, a lot of these your friends, the people you trust, are feeding information to women. If you're at the workplace, your friends are you know, or your colleagues, the people you work with, they don't mind. I mean, they spread gossip in general. People gossip, but they also are willing to spy on you for other women. Not, don't you know, your friends probably aren't going to spy on women for you, but you can tell them information that might get leaked to them. And sometimes you can tell when they don't like what you say. It's really funny. You can expose these people, and then you can choose what you want to do. You can either expose them and walk away, which is what I like to do because I think it's funny, and then they get angry, and then the women get more curious about why you walked away from that friend circle, because you got bigger, better things to do. You don't need those men. You're better than your friends. You're better than the people that you used to know. You don't need them anymore. And then women start getting really curious, or because you know, you walked away. Or you can choose the other route of, you can feed information that, you know, these men are going to tell women that could maybe work to your advantage. You know, talk about maybe how the expensive things that you bought, or talk about, you know, your ambitions or your dreams, or you can talk about your lifestyle, or you can talk about, you know, different things that hobbies and things that you know, are kind of involved with status or whatever they might be. So let me read some more of these comments. I don't have any other areas of my life sorted. I can't dwell on women. Absolutely, that is a really good point. I'm going to be making a video about that as well. If you, as a man, you don't have the career that you want, you don't have the lifestyle that you want, you don't really know where you want to go in life, you as a man aren't, you know, you don't feel personally powerful in any kind of way. You know, you don't feel like you have a lot of control. If you're not at that point in life, you really need to step back and not focus on women. Now, again, you as a man are told to look for love. You're told to look for relationships. You can still, you know, hit it and quit it, or talk to women every once in a while. But a lot of men are told to obsess about women. Think about women 24/7, gossip or get information about the women, try to date them, and try to give the little amount of money or buy gifts with the little money that you have, you know, and focus on women. Your focus needs to be on you. It needs to be on your hobbies, your career, your lifestyle, and what you want. And I'll make a whole video about this, but if you do mess with a woman, she needs to complement that. You know, if you get wealthy enough, you know, you can just buy an escort or just buy a sugar baby. But if you do want more of a relationship, she needs to complement that. She needs to fit in with that. If she is, you know, messing with your vibe, your zen, if she's messing with your groove, if she's trying to make you to change your career or start a business for her, that's that's a huge danger right there. If she wants you to start a business and she's co-signed on, or if you have it signed on that she's worked for that business even for a couple hours, she's going to try to divorce you and steal that business. That does happen, where, you know, she pretends as if she was a partner in that business, and that she worked just as much as you did, but you as the man are actually the one who built that business. Be careful. Be very careful, men. But again, you need to, you know, kind of set boundaries and set expectations. And that's what this whole video is about. That man being led on for 7 years is a fool. Maybe he was playing the long game. Maybe this guy was dating women all along. Again, this guy was led on for 7 years. Maybe he was dating the whole time. Maybe he just didn't let her know. Maybe she just didn't know. A lot of these women have big egos. Maybe he was good at keeping his own secrets, and he was just, she was just a prize that he wanted, and he was just, trying to get her after 7 years. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. I'm not trying to pretend like that this guy's an angel, but if you are actually being friend zoned for 7 years, there, you need to find some new friends. You need to find a psychologist. There's something wrong. There was something wrong with me. I got led on for over 6 months twice by 2 different women, and I had my little heart broken. And I thought I was crazy. I thought there was something wrong with me, because women are angels out there, aren't they? Women out there are Little Miss Perfect, and there's just something wrong with me. I need to lower my expectations, or I'm not good enough for women who are, from the same financial background, who are even, they're less attractive than me, but there's something wrong with me. You need to sit down, and hopefully I can help you, because again, there's not a lot of people out here like me. A lot of men out here don't have fathers who help them. A lot of guys don't have fathers in the household at all. They've been, the mothers divorced their fathers. They've been kicked out of the house. A lot of you were raised by single mothers, and they told you that your dad was a deadbeat. And there are some deadbeats, but a lot of the times they lie. A lot of the times your dad was a good man, but he didn't have a lot of ambition, or he just wasn't making enough money, or she's just your mom is, she might be crazy. But men, start saying no, start being picky, start having some kind of requirements, and don't date feminists. If you know she's a feminist, don't date her. I encourage you to be extremely careful if she's college educated. If she's graduated college, be very careful with these kinds of women, because even if they don't look like a feminist, maybe they have long hair, maybe they're pretty, maybe she's even wearing a dress. She probably believes in a few aspects of feminism. She probably believes that the pay gap exists. She probably believes that men are probably bad, or have been bad actors, throughout history, and and a few things like this. And if you're dating a feminist, especially one of these really crazy ones, she's gonna be putting your sons in dresses. I mean, come on, man. Don't let this stuff happen to you. Don't let this stuff happen. Please. And for goodness sake. But anyways, I hope that y'all all enjoyed my video here today. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll be doing more of this radio show every day. This is my new direction with this channel. This is my new ambition. This is my desire to help the world and to make it a better place. The Daddy Dating Channel, where I'm your new daddy. I'm here, and I hope that taught you some valuable lessons. Let me see if there's any new comments, and let me wrap up this video. Daddy, come on, Joey Cannoli. They love this topic tonight. Maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll go over there. Maybe I'll have a look. I don't know. They don't usually talk about things that go this far, do they? They might think I'm too rude or something, do they? Would they? I don't know. RXL says, I second that you should join the Joey Cannoli stream tonight, or else I'll be the only one saying these things. RXL, I'm willing and I'm happy to try to help some people. And some people don't want to be helped. Some people don't want to be helped. There's men out there who will openly reject this message. There's men out there who will openly, want to attack you, or want to get you fired, or want to hate you because Mommy Dearest, was a nice lady, and their sisters were such angels, and they get socially validated all the time as they're robbed by women. They're robbed all the time. But caboose, 100%. So, my friends, You know, I hope that this does some good. I hope that you'll maybe share this video, maybe tell your friends or family or the people that you can trust. Maybe you have a nephew, maybe you have a younger brother, maybe you have somebody who just went through a divorce or just, just went through a breakup or just doesn't know what's going on, can't get a date, is having a hard time understanding women. That's what this channel is about. I hope that I'm doing some good out there, because I'm going to be exposing a lot. And nobody's saying these things. Nobody's telling y'all the truth. No, I mean, there's a few people who are doing like a Better Bachelor, and there's a few people who are doing some decent things, but there's also men out here who are just willing to lie to you, like Donovan Sharp and some of these people. Like, who was that? What's that channel? Like Guys in Car or Bachelors in Cars or Guys in Cars or something. There's guys out there who are, I mean, they'll just take advantage of you. But anyways, have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you for being a friend, and I will see you in the next video tomorrow, 12 noon. I hope that you'll treat this like a podcast or a radio show, and tune in. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Live well, stay awesome, and start saying no. Have expectations, and be a man. Be the man. I'll see you soon, everybody. I love you. Peace out. And